that's definitely a white thing. But I mean, like when the
Okay.
Jews have like a nursing facility, it's clean, it's run correctly, and then the people that's taking care of the people, like the people that live there, are always throwing money at the people who work there. Like here's $100 for this. Here's 100. Like I have a grandmother who took care of like 8 kids, and she never left because of the money she was getting from the Jewish community.
Yeah.
I thought they hated everybody except themselves.
Not when they're old and they're in a nursing home. You're
Oh,
gonna,
okay.
yeah.
That makes
You
sense.
the hinges. You want
That makes sense.
you want an extra cupcake in the mess hall.
Yeah.
You don't want to be beaten in your sleep. So you spread the money around.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be taking no ass whoopings at that age. That's just
No,
very
and then
different.
and it's very scary when like you have like this young 26-year-old who fucking like clearly takes steroids, but for some reason he wants to be around old people and take care of them. So it's like you as a like 80-year-old man who's definitely not upkeep with himself is not gonna like sit there and curse somebody out. Like you literally have to be out your mind to disrespect people. Like only the people who are clearly crazy disrespect people, but everybody who makes sense knows what time it is.
Yeah, you're helpless. It's
Yeah. And then the really good ones give you money. Like you're not supposed to take the money, but you know,
should.
it's just when it's just but when it's what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You say no to that?
Hell
You know what I'm
no.
saying?
You take their
I
money.
know, I
And
know,
those people don't get paid a lot, like the CNAs, especially at
bro.
a
Let me tell you something, bro. I met a man. I met a man. Not gonna give too much information, but
no. They what's
but
his full name?
it was the it was the end of shift. It was the end of shift. Clearly, this man was out of his mind, but he was a good guy. And then he was like, at the end of the shift, he was like, "All right, man, you took care of me for about 2 3 hours. It was a 12-hour shift, but I'm just shaking my head. It's the end of the day. I'm ready to go. I just didn't want him to fall. So I was like, yeah, man, yeah, I took care of you for 2 hours. He gave me $200.
Yeah, take that.
But you didn't. But officially, you did not take it because
Officially, I told the man no. I said I couldn't do that. It's against policy. But in the script that we're writing in a dark world, I took that shit and had no sympathy that he had Alzheimer's.
right. Realistically, you were hitting the back page right after that.
Like,
Yeah,
did you take his money and then walk around in a circle and ask him for more, like Homer Simpson's dad?
man,
When he was just
I it I seen another 100 in there, my friend, and I was like, nah, I'm good, bro. He has Alzheimer's. I can't swindle this white man.
like, what would be nice is if you tipped us.
I was and once he gave me the two, bro, and I seen it was $100, and I'm like, it was 12 hours, but I had to leave, bro. I put it in my sock, bro, and I left,
You
bro. I
should have
made
been
sure
like, this.
nobody saw me.
This is all you're gonna give me for 2 weeks of work?
Bro, I put it in my sock, bro, and I left, bro. I never came back. Bro, it was as the script goes. But man, it is a tough job, but it's crazy how people treat people, and it's crazy how people act when you're sick. Like there is the people who are just like clear assholes, and then there is the group of people like who appreciate the help because they're sick. But like those assholes, man, there's like it's just there's nothing you could do. Like something's up their ass.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
being old and being in pain fucking sucks.
yeah. Especially if you probably been a jerk most of your life. Not
Yeah,
all of them, but it's a lot of people who probably been jerks. They just get stuck in these places because think about it. If even if you can't afford to take it, you find a way. You're not going to just stick people in there because you can't afford to deal with them. This is a privileged kind of way to get rid of somebody. You got to have means and resources. You got to have money to pay for somebody to live in one of those places, especially one that's halfway decent. So instead of investing the resources into maybe hiring somebody to come to your house and take care of them or something like that, they're like, look,
it's expensive.
just get
It's
rid of
re-
this motherfucker, bro.
to have that person in your house compared to have them in a nursing home. It's apples and oranges like that. If you're able to like take care of them at home, there's so much money that has to be put in to do that compared to just dropping them off at a nursing home. Like not
So
even
how is the
like
nursing home able to do all of that for multiple people for less money? Like you just
Medicaid.
getting like a group rate? Yeah.
It's Medicaid, bro. Medicaid's the group rate. You get government funds if as long as you hit certain regulations. That's all it is. Compared to like, I want my mother at my house. Okay, so depending on her sickness, she's definitely gonna need an in-home nurse. And if she's dying, she definitely needs like somebody to come in and give her the pain medicine every so hours. And if they're in a machine, the insurance has to pay for that machine. 90% of the time, the insurance won't pay for it. Like it's a back and forth game. But compared to just dropping them off at a nursing home, the Medicaid, Medicare is taking care of 50% of the issues, and the government is helping out with the rest.
It's a overpriced trap house for the unwanted, for
Yes,
people who have lived out there, and I think
yes,
they should just lean into that shit, and they should just every morning they should just start meeting out the main line of heroin. Just everybody mainlines heroin. You get your dose. I mean, just all of the drugs
they
that
do
are on,
mainline them heroin, bro. It's fucking
man, you might as well
fentanyl.
drop the pretense of like these are approved drugs, and this is an assisted living facility. No, there's a bunch of
Mm.
old people abandoned by their family to go do heroin together and be forgotten.
Yes,
That's what
That's
it is. It's a
ridiculous.
trap.
yes.
In fact, we're gonna start we're gonna start a franchise of assisted living facilities called the Trap, and we're gonna have people drop off the elderly, and we're gonna load them up with we'll do it in we'll find one of those states like Oregon that's basically legalized all drugs, right? So we don't even have to worry about licensing or anything. Like, officer, all of this is legal, and and fucking heroin is cheaper than ever. So I think we could make the numbers work. I think we could really minimize overhead. And if people are all fucked up on heroin all day, the complaints are going to be at a minimum. Even the ones that are in psychosis and they're off their shit, the troublemakers,
You
they're
just
just
gotta
going to
worry about the family members.
They won't
no,
give a
they're not.
shit.
They don't. They're already been abandoned at the
Yeah,
trap.
they don't give a shit, dude. They don't
Really
give a shit.
care. Right. They'll listen. They'll show up every 3 to 6 months. They'll read us the riot act and give us shit, and we'll pretend that we take note. Oh, I totally understand. I understand your concerns. My mother is in the trap too. I totally get it. And then we go right back to shooting them up and having them nod off.
There's some cold people, bro. There's some people that come in there and ask if their family member died yet, like just because like they have some type of insurance. Like
I think
it's
I,
a sad world.
I think if you change the marketing, you could change the entire energy around it. There's two ways you could go. So you can change, instead of calling it a home or something like that. What people like a lot is shelters, especially for animals. They feel like you're doing them a favor. You're doing work that you don't necessarily have to do. You feeding them. You're taking care of these strays. I think if you call if you call it a shelter instead of a home or a facility, I think you could get away with a lot more. Also, if you want to go totally left with it, you just call it a kennel. Call it call it an elder kennel.
Kennel.
An elder kennel, bro. You could just keep them in fucking cages like aquariums, basically.
No,
It's a kennel.
You have it like how Busch Gardens has the gorillas, like they're in their own habitat, but it's all glassed off.
Yeah, yep.
You charge people to come in and see the elderly in their natural habitat.
And they get a little fresh air because every pod is like half open. Like, so the front end of the pod has a glass window so people who walking down the hall can see you. And then the two walls and the ceiling is all concreted in. It's nice. And then the second half of it is just wrapped in like chain link fence. So they could go out there, they'll get the daylight and the wind, but if it rains, they got to come back inside type shit. So, yeah, you just make them a little half apartment like that with a bed in it, and I don't know what we're going to do about bathrooms. Old people are kind of messy, but if it's a kennel.
They all share bathrooms.
Cleaning crew come in. Nobody bats an eye when you see two gorillas banging when you go to the zoo.
Right.
I don't think anybody should care when you see these two elderly heroin addicts just going at it, because as we've established, you're not going to stop it.
No.
You can't stop the elderly from banging. They're passing along these STDs. Make a show out of it.
Elder kennel, bro. Elder kennel.
Elder kennel. And elder elderly care facility and educational center.
And that'll
We
be in
charge,
small print under kennel.
right? Well, we charge because you're going to be charging people. Like we'll totally get in bed with the public school system to just siphon off those tax dollars. So we're getting the Medicaid subsidy, and then they're bringing the kids in for field trips. Hey, this is what happens in your twilight years.
Right? Yeah. Be nice. Be sweet to people, because if you're an old crotchety curmudgeon, you're gonna end up in the elder kennel, bro. And this is
And
where
Still
you go.
in
too much
50
money.
years.
If you make too much money, your kids are going to have enough of that money to send you to one of these places and pay for you. Do it like Puerto Ricans, live check to check, never amass too much money, and everybody has to live in the same house as God intended it.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I ain't mad at all. I wouldn't. I would donate to an elder kennel. Like, you know how sometimes you go to the shelter to see the animals and shit. You bring a bag of dog food just to be nice. We used to go to the horse ranch, and people would we just bring. It was a bag of carrots you could get, like a 10-pound bag of carrots you could get for $10, and we buy one of them. You know, we feed the horses. But if it was an elder kennel, I would go there with like canned food and soup and stuff like that. I would definitely donate to an elder kennel, bro, for sure, for sure. It's a good way to stay in touch with your gratitude in the present moment, is to go to an elder kennel and be like, look at these old, out of luck, heroin addicted, fucking orgy nymphomaniac in their fucking kennels. Like, this is wild. Look at this shit.
And expand the model beyond that too. I mean, I think we just solved the homeless problem inadvertently too.
Oh shit! Yep.
Start getting all of these people. We could clean up Los Angeles and San Francisco and Portland. For however long it takes to get this approved and get the facility made.
Well, you at least get the oldest off the street. Whoever you qualify for elder kennel because certain things in place. Yeah, we bring them on in just to kind of fill them up, and then we tell the government like, look, yo, we're fucking filled to the gills with old folks. We need some more money or something like that. We need more donations from our cult members and shit. But either way, elder kennel is a great fucking idea, and it sounds a little tough, the word kennel, but I think calling it a kennel.
You gotta find a guy with the last name Kennel.
Oh, elder kennel elder.
Yeah.
Like, no, his last name is Kennel. It's like,
Jerry Kennel. Jerry
Kennel facility,
Yeah. I'm
like, yeah, but we're getting reports that the rooms that these people live in actually resemble kennels. Like, no, that's not true. A kennel is fully made of chain link. These are part concrete also. So, they have shelter. Kennels don't have shelters. I'm sure we got to just break it down in a way that we won't get in too much trouble. But I don't think people don't care. This is the point. We overthinking it. Nobody cares about when's the last time you thought about what was going on in the old folks' home?
It's only when a hurricane people are sad and crying that the old people died.
When you play that song on the TV, "In the Arms of an Angel,"
like they're killing these people by the drones in these facilities. It's only when there's a hurricane that happened and everybody realized nobody cares about this older group of people. Like, why is there 10 people at a nursing home facility when there's a hurricane coming? Why weren't they taken away? Because nobody cared about those 10 people.
Nah, nobody cares about the old
Nobody
folks.
Cared. That's why 20 of them died inside
It
the
goes
nursing
to
home.
women.
That's why
children.
they were the main ones spreading COVID with each other. Like, nobody cared.
Fuck it, put them back. That's what Sun said. Put them back over there. Like, no, we need to get them out of these places where it's all these. He's like, nah, just put them in because it'll spread quick, and then we'll empty them back out anyway.
And then Michigan said, "Hold my beer." Oh no, we're gonna put criminals in there too.
Oh, nice.
Criminals.
Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's mix it up. We'll keep it interesting.
Your Honor, they couldn't possibly be in kennels because how could we have all these field trips coming here to look at them in the observatory? If they were in kennels, they wouldn't be out in this open air behind plexiglass field here for the educational purposes of children. These allegations are totally unfounded.
Totally unfounded. Eddie Kennel had a dream, and his dream was to have a facility for people to be in.
Now, these are actually postmodern view pods it's in an aspect ratio of 2:3, the 2 being the concrete enclosure and the other part being the chain link fence, Your Honor. Trust me.
The kids come in the buses. They learn from these people. They see this is their future. What is wrong about this?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We charge $19.99 to get in, unless you're making a donation. If you have more than 6 canned goods, you can get in for free.
By the way, we have the best chicken wing selection in the tri-state area.
In different sauces, made to order. So what is it? Elder Kennel long-term trafficking care slash learning facility slash gourmet wing joint.
Wing house, bro. The Elder Kennel Wing House.
Elderly fuck. You
Oh,
go watch
shit.
the elderly mainline heroin and fuck. Behind the bling.
And we have the most coherent, only the most coherent, high functioning elderly women. We keep them in the back cooking the wings. That's
Yes,
what's making it fucking work.
yes. We providing jobs. They don't mind having minimum wage and receive Medicaid and Medicare. They're from the 1940s. $7 was a God-given miracle to them.
Bro, look, that's all they've done for the past decade of their life before they got here was make fucking chicken wings and sweet potato pie. And shit. That's all they was doing anyway.
25 cents was like that's the most money that 25 cents will last a week.
Listen, they deserve to retire on heroin and have orgies. Listen, the Kennel brothers, Eddie and Jerry, society.
Holy shit. The Kennel brothers.
Eddie and Jerry Kennel, they changed the way we took care of our elderly. Forever. And they're multi-billionaires. They're two of the richest men on the planet as a result, because they franchised this out in all 50 states. They've built an empire.
And it fucking worked.
Well, if they're
public
this famous, if they're this rich and famous, they're gonna need to be a couple instead of brothers. That's the only way you can make cis males that powerful not be a threat. They need to be
No,
a
they
couple.
gotta be brothers, but one of them has a heroin problems also.
That's why he keeps heroin as part of all the schemes.
Yeah.
No matter what business endeavor they got going, he tries to work heroin into it some kind of way.
Some kind of way.
Like, yeah, I actually came up with the idea for housing all of the old people. It was my brother Jerry that decided to keep them strung out on heroin.
You had the dream to have like this magical facility for the elderly, and then you know Jimmy was like, you know, I have this idea with heroin.
Heroin, hear me out.
Hear me out.
And then I started a daycare business, and my brother came.
Listen here. If we just have heroin involved,
Hear me out, bro.
more jobs will be provided.
You know, and he's like kind of hippy dippy about shit. And he's like, listen, you know, the pharmaceutical companies, they're diagnosing our kids with ADHD. You know, we're filling them full of sugar and they can't sit still. You know why all these kids?
Yeah, man. And the brother's just like
any problems.
the other one is just like so innocent and like wants like the world to be peaceful, but like his idea like just works. He's just like, your ideas have been working.
Yeah, he's been right so far. Of course, I would never give children heroin.
No.
But I found this other drug.
No, man. What you do is you do just what pharmaceutical companies do. You make it in fun little gummies.
Yeah.
You have Flintstone vitamins.
You step on it.
Heroines or some shit. It dissolves in water and turns into funny characters. It's Heroines times, and it comes in fruity little flavors and shaped like hippopotamuses and shit. You can totally get
Hero jellies. They're hero jellies. and the parents, kids always call them hero, and you have to correct them because like, no, they're not hero jellies. It's hero jellies for a whole different reason. We get the kids strung out on heroin jellies and gelatin. Just mix it up. Let them chew it a couple times a day through class. Everything will be nice and calm. No more fighting. No more wrestling. No more busybody. Just, take a hero jelly. Give them to all preschool teachers. Yeah, there we go.
But they give them, what's the drug
I
What's
like
the drug that makes them really focus that they give to kids anyways?
Ritalin.
Ritalin, right?
Yeah, Riddle.
Yeah, Ritalin, lithium, Adderall. They're giving all types of
Adderall.
shit.
Adderall, that's the main one. Like I know grown adults that say how fantastic Adderall is. So what's the
Yeah,
difference? What's the difference if they have gummy filled heroin gummy bears?
because
I don't.
we need them to perform. If we don't start giving our kids heroin so they can pay attention in nap time, then China's gonna outpace
So
us.
they can pay attention at nap time. Because that's where we're really losing them at nap time. They don't want to,
Just
they don't want to take naps at all. It's all the
Yeah.
sugar, all the staring at the tablet with the light bouncing back in their face, and then we got the curriculum they're supposed to be learning. They can't do this. They can't do this. They're not taking any naps. That's where we started losing the kids. You thought it was taking prayer out of the school. That wasn't it. It was the naps.
right, because all the kids were sleeping through prayer time anyway. That was just an excuse to close their eyes and take a quick little nap. We took that out of school, and we got the kids all, filled with sugar and Ritalin and Adderall, and they can't nap. And so, we had to bring them in a little bit, So we just give them that sweet kiss from the angel and let them lean back and, be winners at time.
Sweet kiss. Yeah,
From the
sweet
angel, lean
kiss.
back.
Yeah. All the desks there, the reclining desk now. It's like a lazy boy. Yeah.
Just imagine walking in like at a preschool level where everything is crazy. Blocks are all over the place. They're running around, picking the nose. It's just complete chaos. And you go into one of the rooms, and there's never been more mellow children. Just everybody sitting down. Nobody has a care in the world. And you would just be like, this is amazing. These are the most well-behaved children I've ever seen. What's your secret? It's called Jerry and Eddie Kennel. They have
Yeah, Jerry came up with the idea to have ergonomically designed rooms for the children so their thought vibrations could bounce off the walls and reflect back to them. They
They're the
painted the
Johnson
room with.
family, but
He's
better.
got a million things on his list, and the other brother's like, and I came up with the idea for the heroin jellies.
Yeah, he goes into all these things. And children, they really respond well to certain colors. So we were very strategic in the kinds of ways we painted the room. So when it's an energetic activity, we take them to the red room, and we take them to the blue room when we need things to be more calm. And he's got all these, out there ideas, and he's put so much thought into how he was going to create this perfect environment to foster learning and community. And then who was wait is Eddie's the good guy, Jerry's the piece of shit at this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Jerry,
Yes,
Jerry
yes.
comes in like, I got an idea.
Like, hey,
Heroin
we get some
jellies.
shrooms involved. We get some heroin.
Fruit roll-ups. Yeah.
Yeah, everything. Fruit roll, all their snacks will have heroin in them.
you basically been microdosing heroin in all of the children's snacks. Oh, absolutely, most definitely.
All day. They have 4 snack times a day. So we
Yeah, in
just.
fact, I saw, Mrs. Sanders, you ate about 4 of those goldfish. You should probably wait before you try to try more. I would never recommend you with 4 goldfish. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, you just got it timed out, dosed out throughout the course of the day. How much heroin does the average child need to stay focused throughout the course of a school day? You know what? This is the next logical step from babies who were bred in the VLA. After they've been bred and raised from infancy in the VLA, they have to go to heroin school. They have to. It's too much input in the VLA. They're gonna know exactly how to lay down in their little recliner with the Wally screen that floats over their head. They'll do all their work in that angle position. They won't have to get up. That'll make it a lot easier for all the teachers, since all the teachers are like these, complete crazy mix of all these personality traits, and they're super sensitive. They think everybody should be quiet and be chill. This is gonna work good for them because all their students will be in a recliner on a fucking heroin diet.
Well, so I think the people who get a VLA for their children are the kinds of parents that would never let them be microdosed with heroin throughout the day. So I think this is just going to replace school so that we can, stop having these high dropout rates. We're just going to keep them heroined up for 12 or 13 years so they coast through, right? And then if you love your children, you're preparing them to fight the Babylonian Nosferatu.
Right,
and they need
right,
that
right.
delay training. So they're living a totally different life.
Oh, so that's the public at large's answer to the VLA.
to do with all the NPCs.
Right. Right.
There's the aristocracy, the Babylonian Nosferatu, right? Who've had all their CRISPR editing, right? They're untouchable. There's the low class lichens who are trying to get on that level, and so they're doing it naturally by augmenting their children's abilities with Relay. But this is a behind the scenes struggle. What the masses are experiencing and they think is normal is just to be strung out on heroin all day, from preschool to trap house,
Right.
and elder kennel. It's just from beginning to end. Just take off all the pretense. Let's just make it what it is. Like everybody's like, I think there's something crazy like 70% of everybody's on medication. Like it's
at least
the
one
majority of
medication.
human beings. Yeah.
70% on at least one, and then it's just decreasing percentages all the way up. So 70% on at least one, 53% on at least two. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I know a lot of the younger generation has been taking Xanax for years.
Oh, nonstop. Well, I'm not even talking about recreational. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
people who are on it, like legally on it.
Timmy can't sit still. Fuck it. Let's get him filled up. Let's get him drugged up. Let's do it.
Get them filled.
Bro, and that's just the craziest thing. I've seen that where they tell the parent that at a certain age, and you like, no, that's their age. That's how they're acting. But then there's the parents that's like, oh man, he has all this. Okay, give it all of it. I'll take it all. So he just shuts the fuck up, and I can stay focused and go into work. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, yo, school's boring. This shit sucks. My parents were like, fuck no, we ain't drugging them up.
My mom did the same thing with my sister. She's like, no, we're not giving her none of this stuff. Are
No?
you ridiculous?
Yeah, but that's their go-to. It's like, yo, your kid doesn't give a fuck about school. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and tie off the knot, make things happen.
Yo, to me, that's the number one side of a good parent, that they can see, like, yeah, you shouldn't allow these drugs.
Don't drug your children.
I'm on Xbox, bro. I'm on Xbox, right? And like every once in a while, because I've been playing Daisy, so you'll meet like these young kids.
Yeah.
So we got this kid from Denmark, bro. He's just naming the drugs that he takes.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he told me his mother's 36. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see it.
Damn.
All right, so we don't believe in tribalism and stereotyping, but we just seem to have noticed that there does appear to be a larger proportion of white people who are willing to abandon their elderly and drug their children. Like, what do we do with the young? Drug them up. What do we do with the olds? Send them off. Send them away. House them at the Elder Kennel Trap House.
That's why Eddie and Jerry Kennel is genius, because it's nothing but white people. So that's why no one's complaining, because it's just white people.
Oh, the black women are the ones cooking the chicken wings.
Yeah. They're the ones getting paid, they're cooking the food.
So they're getting underpaid and they're still being exploited. But from their position, they're above every. Yeah, they're at least they're not living in a kennel.
We have 50 flavors of chicken wing sauce that date back from 1933.
No, 1860s. We gotta go pre-Civil War to make it super racist.
So the whites,
the recipes.
The whites are field.
Family recipe.
The whites are the field elderly, and the black people in the kitchen are the house elderly. So they get to chill, they get to hang out, they get to do it, but they still can't go up into the front and talk to people
because their families can't afford for them to get the whole package, so they have to work.
No. They get the upgrade. They get upgraded because they're being exploited, but they're upgraded just enough to make them feel better than the people who are living downstairs in the actual pods. They get to live upstairs on cots because they cook the chicken on the weekend. So they got the upgrades. They live in they got their own little room. They feel better than everybody else. They're like, at least we're not downstairs.
Those are the ones where the family come and visit them. So if you have like an elderly person that looks like they're active and they have a nice little room, those black people will be like, all right, he's good, and he's making money.
Yeah, that might actually be our front of the house. That might be front of the house. When people come visit, they're just a bunch of old magical Negroes in the lobby.
Yeah.
Just they're just sitting in chairs telling stories and making quilts and shit, and everybody's like, "Damn, they're really saving the fucking. They're saving the neighborhoods. They
Because
got all of these
nobody's
brown
visiting the
people.
elderly white ones. Nobody's.
You don't even know the elderly white ones are there. You don't even really see them. They're in a kennel out back.
Until you pay that 19.99 to take that trip, pay for that ticket. Yeah, then you go to the learning annex.
Yeah, yeah. Connected by this little tunnel right here. You got to go through the tunnel. You get to the other side. But the front of the house is all the brown magical Negroes who can tell you great stories. That's a nice little trap, right? That's how you sell your merch. You sell your chicken, your T-shirts. Like that's like when you go to a museum and they got the gift shop. The old black folks are the gift shop. And just the gift shop, you feel free in there. You're like, wow, this is really beautiful. This is really nice. This is nice.
Nice facility.
This is really nice. It's like, no, it's just that's why it's T-shirts on the wall for $7.99. You got to buy some of this shit. Let's go. I love it. Dude.
The assisted living as a trap house was bad, but we were like, nah, we can make it worse. Here's how it's worse. So kudos.
We got a gift shop. Yeah, that Negro gift shop. But they're doing great though, because they love where they are. They get to sit in comfortable chairs. It's not their business that other people are living in their pods outside, probably smearing shit on the windows. That's none of their business. That's none of their business. They get to live upstairs in the air conditioner and shit like that. It's fine. It's fine. Trust me. Everybody loves it this way. Nobody really cares. Like I said, that's how this whole thing started. Nobody really cares what's happening to old people anyway. Let's just be honest. Except for the people who really care. That's like their thing. That's the game they decided to play in life was, I'm going to care about what happens to old people. There's people who don't want to do nothing else with their life but fetishize felons and murderers and write them letters in prison. That's what their whole life revolves around. That's the most important thing about them. Like, yeah, I don't really do nothing important for a living, but I am in love with a guy who murdered 11 women. And I'm going to go marry him this week at a fucking, max security, super max prison. We're going to go get married.
We understand each other.
Right. There's people who do that. There's people, it's just that kind of shit. So if you can be one of these kind of people, fuck it. Or not. Don't care about old people. Put them in the kennel. I like the elder kennel just because you can get sued for referring to it as a dog kennel. You get sued for libel. It's like, because you're using our name wrong. That's not what this is.
Yeah, it's defamation.
Yeah, you've seen all the black people sitting up in the front of the house telling stories and passing around squares of macaroni and cheese.
You've tasted their wings?
Right. They're happy. Negroes can't cook like that unless they're happy. They can't. I'm telling you, it's impossible.
And they're getting paid.
They're getting paid. None of the other old people here are getting paid. Like, what other old people? Never mind. Listen. This is also doubles as a gift shop. So just look around, find something nice for yourself on the house.
My brother, he had a dream, and I'm just here to help him.
Yeah, I think you sell it because I don't like this idea that we're ashamed of it. I feel like Jerry's vision was to make it so that there's no need for shame. That we've just accepted that we put our elderly in the trap, and we all think we should learn from it. I don't think there should be any shame. I think it's more of keeping costs low. So what we do is we pay a wage and we give room and board to the magical people working in the front that are cooking the wings. And so I think it's more for makes good business sense. But I don't think they should just be in the front because we're ashamed of what's going on in the back. No. We're not ashamed. We advertise it. We bus in children for field trips to come and see it. We absolutely are proud of the work here that we're doing it. As a matter of fact, I just need to get Jerry and Eddie on the phone. I want to be a ground level angel investor. Like, I want to put my money up. I want to put my money up ASAP. Because I think this thing is going to be huge.
Going to the moon, baby. I would
go.
invest. If I saw this company on one of those websites we'd be following and shit, talking about new stocks going to, I'd buy some.
I'd buy a couple shares.
I'd buy a few shares and sit on it, see what's happening. Just like I bought AMC. I'd be like, you know what? I like this Elder Kennel thing. I like where they're going.
Let's go, man. Let's go pop the clique. Sign those papers.
Especially once I read heroin in the white papers, it's a wrap. Like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm in.
I told my accountant to just stop reading. I'm in. We don't
That's
need,
it.
I don't need to hear anything else.
Yeah, you had me at heroin. You had me at heroin. Let's keep it moving. I love that shit. This
So
is
their
going in.
whole they do private schools, they do daycares, they do elder cares. Basically any state institution that kind of, I don't want to deal with my kids, so I'm going to send them here, right? Or deal with my parents, so I'm going to send them here. In the future, all of this is privatized, and at the helm is Jerry and Eddie Kennel. Like, they saw the business opportunity, and from basically it's a cradle to grave process. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, your husband works and you don't have a job, but you don't want to have to watch your kid all day. Let's go ahead and get him in enrolled at the preschool. Let's get a microdosing, gushers and kangaroos laced with heroin.
So we
You
have
know, and
like
then
the two brothers are like, one's like a sociologist and an engineer, and the other one just knows how to cook up. He's like
He
a
just
chemist.
got out of prison.
He's a
He just got out of
chemist
prison. He just got out of prison.
for doing bad chemistry. He got fired from a government chemistry facility for dosing everybody with vaporized heroin through the exhaust vents.
He saw his brother's vision.
He's like, I knew there was so much stress in my workplace. I knew all they needed was some heroin. They didn't believe me, so I was just trying to improve all their lives. Like, you ever tried like using LSD or psilocybin? He's like, no, listen, we don't have time to bullshit and drag our feet. Just go straight to the heroin.
Heroin is where it's at.
Straight to the heroin, bro. I love it. Oh, dude, have you seen anything about this program called Midjourney? It's
Nope.
a AI art generating program. So you type words, prompts into this like a Discord page or something like that, and this thing generates art according to what you typed, and it's
is
different.
it will give you like 4 pictures,
Yeah,
like squares? Yeah, I've seen that.
yeah. It gives you the 4 pictures at first, and then if you want, you can just kind of dig down into either one of them. So like you can click one, and it'll make it bigger, or it'll make 4 more iterations of one that look just like that one. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. So I'm gonna have to like share the screen a little bit, because the thing
All the ones
it's
that I've
amazing.
seen are very distorted and troubling.
Oh
Like
yeah, they're definitely troubling. I won't say they're not troubling, but honestly, the way you look at it, when you see the type of art that it's making, when you see what it's actually doing, it's super fascinating, and it's addictive process to actually go through it and try to push and pull the art to make something that you wanted to make. It's fucking ridiculous. It's one of the wildest things I've come across in a while. I think it's going to totally change the way that people make art, the way that people are approaching art. I think it's going to change a lot. So, can you see these that I'm sharing right now?
Yeah. These don't look like the stuff that I've seen generated. These look like actual pieces.
Yeah,
But this is made from AI?
yeah, yeah. All
This is
kinds of.
This is a sign of the AI takeover.
It should. Well, yeah, you're probably right. I'm not even gonna lie. Where is it?
With all my experience of the Terminator movies, we need guns and bullets
Lies and propaganda.
and two-way radios. Because
Listen,
apparently the AI can't find us through two-way radios.
Skynet
And this-
makes art now, dude.
This is all done like completely from the AI?
Yeah, and if you look at some of them, you can see what the prompts were to create the art. So, woman made of organic matter, character design, full like. So they put in a bunch of different things, and this is what it made.
Are we able to do that? Because I have a few suggestions.
Listen, it's an infinite rabbit hole that you will never climb out of, because even if you type those same words into a Discord with this bot, it won't give you the same picture. You might get something in the same family and something in the same energy, but it's not going to be the same picture. You could do it 1,000 times and never get the same image.
I'm curious what would it be if you put Mercedes Benz
Oh
fiery crash
gosh, no, man, I
A5s.
don't want to do that.
I want to see the artwork that comes out of
Look
that.
at this beautiful full body armor, plant opal details, highly detailed, and this is what the AI is creating.
A lot of cats and a lot of organic stuff. A combination of like
Yeah,
organic and
when you put words like octane render, or people put hyper realism, stuff like that, it tries to make it look like it's actually in the real world. And then other times you can add an artist name or style, and it'll make stuff like this because they didn't put maybe didn't put realism or something.
that's pretty dope for like getting tattoos. Like I think a lot of tattoo artists should implement that to make a lot of unique
Oh man,
tattoos for
so
people.
many artists are going to implement this in the way they approach creativity because you can come up with something in a second that your mind could have never really conceived of, and that, at least in that same amount of time. Like this person's making posters with technical maps, architecture, typography, collage forming, like, and it came back with this. This
So,
looks like some
point
fine art shit you would see.
what is the point of us?
Well, yeah, right, right,
Like, what do we?
That's basically what the AI is teaching. Like all this bullshit about art that you guys are now figuring out.
Right, because music was one of the first things where I was hearing like completely AI generated music. Like it's programmed in what humans have already created, so it kind of has these templates and kind of structures to pull from, and then you just tell it, okay, do something like this. And I was aware of an AI program that was making musical composition. So like
right.
some of it's kind of whatever, but there's still something about like the way you play a violin, the emotion you can provoke. Like I don't know, maybe for
The
electronic,
soul. Music needs
right,
soul. Robots
right,
can't give
still
soul.
it still can't kind of overtake that. But now that I'm seeing these pictures,
Yeah,
it's
the pictures is a whole different.
really the last venture for us as far as making the argument for a reason. Okay, well, robots are going to do all the jobs. So what would humans do? Humans can be artists. We can create art. Nah, we're going to let the robots do that too.
Eddie and Jerry Kennel.
Yeah. Well,
So
what I think is going to happen is that people are going to start using these for creative composition ideas, for color theory ideas, just art theory in general. But of course, these images are very exciting right now. But they're the market's going to be flooded with them because every time you make it, like you said, every time you make an image like this, you're making a little four square, and then you're building up one of them, and then you're trying a lot of different options. A lot of this is, I doubt they got it like on the first shot even. It's just from people who are getting good at how they craft their prompts and commands, and they're really getting dope shit. So I think what's going to happen is artists are going to start using this as the skeleton or as a blank canvas, so to speak, of pieces that they create. Like shit like this just bugs me out because it looks like a real item. This looks like something you could find in a thrift store or something like that, sitting on a desk. It's unbelievable what it's doing. So I think people are going to use this, and then we're going to start seeing art that's either printed on top of it, like this stuff is incorporated into it, or just heavily influenced by the way it's making art. Some of it is indistinguishable. Stuff like this is, to me, is indistinguishable from what anime artists or something like that would make. If you look close into the eyes and stuff, you see some little discrepancies that may not have been like an artistic liberty somebody would have taken
I
because
think it's pretty cool.
it's
I
dope
think,
as fuck. But
and then like
we look for
you
certain
can't use it.
imperfections as artists. Like we want to do certain things right technically, and the computer could do it totally differently. The AI could do some shit you would have never done as an artist, but then it'll inspire you to try some new things possibly.
Yeah,
This
I
shit's
think it's
beautiful.
pretty dope for like. I think the as far as like making cartoons and figuring out a style, I think that would be great help too. It's pretty cool technique that you can use for a lot of things.
So I'm gonna go to this is my feed of some of the stuff that I've made. I was doing some cult leader shit earlier, and some of these cool images were coming up. But the thing I like,
Go back up. The one on the right, stop below the fox.
here,
Yeah,
yeah, these are just four pieces that came up, and I
but I'm
did.
saying like the style and the characters, you could use that as stills. That's like a dope.
Yeah, definitely. I put two cult leaders holding lantern in style of revolution propaganda art, and that's why it had these strong reds and
Yeah.
silhouette kind of
Yeah,
vibe
man.
because it's
I
pulling from that.
That style right there, I would do like a whole series just for
Oh, and
that. That alone.
you could make 50 more of these
Yeah.
variations, and it's unbelievable. I'm not gonna show everything because I got some big plans. Shit like this, look at this. This is it's fucking amazing. This is Skynet making art, bro. The Skynet that we say is gonna murder us is gonna launch all the nukes and enslave humans. This is what it's
Not if they
doing.
talk to Eddie and Jerry Kennel. I think if we get them involved with the AI.
So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here. I'll open one of these, open it in the Discord, and I'll just do one right now live. So you type imagine, and then I don't know. Give me some words. Give me just throw me some shit, and we'll fucking try a couple of
And Jerry Kennel.
them. It's gonna find two guys named Eddie and Jerry.
Ox Poppy.
Hold on, hold on.
No,
I
we
got
can't,
you, bro. I
we
got you
can't
with the
put
word.
all our ideas into the. Hold on, no.
Let's try Ox Poppy first. Let's do assisted living facility trap house.
Oh God, assisted living
Eddie and Jerry Kennel.
facility
Yeah, we could throw Eddie and Jerry.
trap house.
Kennel are the owners or something.
Eddie Jerry, Eddie Jerry, and then I'll do a aspect ratio because I've been getting really good results with instead of making them square, making them a lot wider, and so you just get more area. This is one that I was messing with earlier, and it just, I mean, it's like a random group ghost kind of meditation. And I'm working on these meditation videos right now. Another little endeavor we're gonna pop off is to put some real deal meditation videos on YouTube because we use them a lot. So getting people fired up into it and giving them the opportunity to link with some of these images and some of the music. So why not, dude? I listen to them every night. So this is
Yeah, I give them
basically
to my
just
kids
going.
too. That's how I make my kids go to sleep.
Yeah, dude. So we putting some up with some cool images, families that I found. So we're gonna do this again, because you see, it's just being super literal right now. So we'll
This
do.
living facility trap house. Oh,
Yeah.
that's it at the bottom.
Yeah, that's it coming in right now. It's at, it's percentages, a few different passes.
All right, let's try microdosing.
That is a beautiful building.
Microdose heroin.
Microdosing heroin preschool. Let's try that.
50 chicken rings flavors.
50 wing variety flavors. Assisted living facility trap house microdosing heroin preschool. This is gonna get me kicked out of the. The bot's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" But see,
That's
this is
the
what
facility.
came up for the facility.
That's the facility right there.
Look at the floors. They don't walk
That is a
around too much.
beautiful, beautiful
That's
place.
down for the cartoon, man.
Yes, man.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
So
That's the
then,
facility.
so you could do variations. So I like the shape of this house from the outside because we can make interior look like whatever we want. But I do like that. So I'll do V1 means variation. You do a variation of that particular one, and then it'll start making. I see it playing with the colors already because I put microdose and heroin. It's like, oh, you want a microdose, son? So see, now it's making 4 more variations of that same house.
So these are where the people who make the chicken wings live. That bottom one.
Well, I like the shape of that house, but this is some cool rooms too. So you could always go in and upscale them, and it'll add more definition. It'll kind of drill down into the picture and get more information and add more layers of detail and shit like that. I like this place already. It looks kind of nice.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
I like it, dude. It's pretty fucking nice. All right, so these are the houses. That the first one still looks cool as fuck to me. The first one looks best. So I'll take that and then I'll upscale that house. Now it'll just focus on that one house and build it. So you see how simple this is, and it can get crazy. So you don't even want to know how many images I've created at this point. But
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
But I've opened up a bunch of folders, and I started a lot of work of things that I think we could produce with these images. And being designers and shit ourselves, we can take this and add our own touch to it. It won't just be like taking it and putting it. And I'm sure there's some artist right now who's going to make $1 million who's just creating an AI Midjourney art book. He's just gonna compile the images, and he's gonna fucking sell a book. He's gonna make $1 million. So I might do that shit myself, but with a little extra touch. So we'll do another one here, and just anybody y'all got a favorite artist, favorite art style, favorite film?
Ox Poppy, Kill Bill.
I wonder what.
No. Ox Poppy. What's the Steven Seagal movie? What's it called?
Oh,
the first one that made him famous.
No, not Mark for Death.
Under Siege?
No, that's one of the later ones.
Yeah, the one that made him famous. The one that got him to Under Siege.
Dude, what is Steven? I don't even remember, bro. All right, so we're gonna put Ox Poppy, Steven Seagal, Ox Poppy, Steven Seagal, Box Cutter, Bodega.
Fight scene.
Okay.
I'm looking for Steven Seagal first movie.
Yeah, pull up his IMDb, and then you'll see his first movie.
It wasn't Marked for Death. Out for Justice. That's a different one. He's got a bunch of movies. We'll add his movie name after. We'll just get one.
Above the Law.
There we go. Above the Law. Ox Poppy, Steven Seagal, Box Cutter, Bodega fight scene, bro. So this is this house with the second pass on it. And then you can do one more if you want, and it'll add even more detail.
I would send my loved ones to that trap house.
Or I would just cut that whole thing, just have the house, and I'll put Eddie and Jerry Kennel. I'll keep the trees. Keep the trees, keep the house, cut everything else.
Just make it like a commercial billboard for him.
Yeah, Eddie and Jerry Kennel, and then just put that on a T-shirt.
Oh, dude, I like this. I like how this Steven Seagal.
And that's a nice little blue too. That's a nice little blue.
And
yeah, this thing's fascinating,
art.
bro. It's completely fascinating. It's unbelievable. It's wild, man.
Oh, that's a nice fox. That's a nice one. Look at that fight scene.
This is the beginning of Ox Poppy right here.
This is Ox Poppy. This is amazing.
Look at the bodega, bro. It looks.
This is. Zoom in on that. I have.
It's almost done. It's at 98.
Oh my God, this is beautiful.
Almost done. 100%. All right, it's
done. Is he filling the shells or is he beating somebody up?
He's doing both at the same time, bro.
Yeah.
He looks like he's like breaking this guy's arm over here. This guy's throat. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my God, this is great.
And so I'm gonna upgrade that's number 3. I'm gonna upgrade number 3. All of them are dope, but this is like this is the beginning of the storyboards. This is how you get your color scheme, how you get your light placement, and then we pull this into our storyboards, and we can create our own scenes with, we can get other models and perspectives and camera shot. This is beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
This is fucking beautiful.
Looks like he has a dick rubbed up against his face.
Yeah, we're not gonna upgrade that one.
It does.
All right, have you rendered that? What the fuck is it?
Nah, yeah. I don't know what that would be. We should, just to see what happens, right?
Definitely looks like getting slapped with a penis.
Look at him, the blood on. Look at Steven Seagal's catching bodies in here, bro.
It's piled up in the bodega.
Blood everywhere, and I love this lighting right here. We see with the back entrance.
Yeah.
You see the window right here. He's pulling somebody through the window. This shit's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and it's addictive, bro.
Steven Seagal would love this. This is him.
These are the shots that we send him when we try to convince him to do the movie.
All right, Hunter Biden.
Oh shit.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hunter Biden kissing Leonardo DiCaprio?
No. Hunter Biden played by Leonardo DiCaprio.
In feature-length film. Movie
Leonardo
poster.
DiCaprio.
And you have to put prostitutes, cocaine, all that.
Wait, Hunter Biden played by Lee in what movie? Kill Bill?
No, just put cocaine, put all the drugs in the
cocaine might be banned because certain things like blood and certain drug references might be banned.
Put drugs in.
Feature film movie poster.
Yes.
There we go. Feature film
as Hunter Biden. Yeah.
Movie poster. Okay. So what's that, like 11 by 17?
That's Steven Seagal, man. That's dope as fuck.
Dude, it's
Ox,
great
Ox Poppy.
with all those bodies in the bodega.
Yes. The
I
Yeah,
mean,
color,
that's
that's amazing. And this one
fantastic.
right here, he looks like he's dodging some punches or something.
yes.
All of this shit's dope, bro. Mid-Journey,
And then,
man. Oh shit.
They just got his face, and that's stupid.
I don't know. Let it. We gotta let it. Yeah, it looks like it's
It's just
mixing.
Hunter Biden. It doesn't even look like it's DiCaprio.
what if we try Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Hunter Biden in movie poster?
Yeah.
I'll put them both. Leonardo DiCaprio. Am I spelling his name right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hunter
right.
Biden, buddy,
Comedy.
buddy comedy, yeah, buddy comedy movie poster. Look, it's trying to write some shit. It is trying to make a poster.
Which one's Leonardo DiCaprio? Because they both look like Hunter Biden. They all look like Hunter Biden.
We'll see. Let the B system do its thing.
I think we're fucking up the Matrix.
I
Nah,
want to see what
if
it does for buddy cop movie.
this month, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh shit, that's a great idea. Oh, it did. It did put the different fonts for the movie poster shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. It's like trying to make sense of movie posters. So it's got some weird wordage kind of in there, but it's definitely got him. Like, so it'll compile, of course, 100 images of one guy. It can make a person really quick. But that's not the.
I will say it does kind of look like he's perfect, and then it slowly goes out to like he's clearly on cocaine right now.
What the hell are these guys? Look at this.
It just
There it is.
That last one on the right, that's the great. The last two at the bottom two are great. The bottom two are great. The bottom two are great. I like the left and the right, but it's fucking great. That left one is the best one. Go pick that up.
Please.
The little ones with the sun and they're walking away with the black.
That's
That is a
terrible.
t-shirt.
I gotta
That
make
is a
this one
t-shirt.
bigger, bro.
That is a t-shirt.
Upgrade 3. I gotta do it. This one too. Both of these are fucking hilarious.
And once you upgrade them, can you refine the details further so that
Yeah,
it
you can. Once it does a couple more passes, it usually comes in with more detail. And then after you're done
Leonardo.
upgrading it, you can still make another
Hunt.
variation. But it's difficult. Once you start trying to nail it to a specific concept, it gets harder and harder. It can land in a wide area, but the tighter you try to get it, shit starts going haywire pretty quick. Like I was playing around with trying to get an infinity symbol, and it got so close so many times, but it couldn't it couldn't wrap that loop except for one time it did it. But yeah, I got a bunch of wild shit in here. I've been in psychedelic, and so this one time it did make it, and it's got crazy detail, but that's the only time I was able to get it to do it, because our meditation channel is called Golden Loop Meditation. This just looks like him and his dad. It's not even Leonardo DiCaprio, but look at the name though. Look at the words.
Leonardo Dunter.
Deunter.
Yeah, but we could fix that. We could put DiCaprio, Hunter.
But we could use this background, take these two guys out.
Yeah.
I would even leave these two down here.
I'll leave that too.
Right, buddy comedy with them two.
Yep. I think I would have that as a T-shirt, bro.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I'll do the third pass on it, upscale to max, so we can see what all the details look like in it. But yeah, this shit is. All right, so I'll do one more. I'll do.
It nailed Ox Poppy. It nailed it.
Yeah,
man.
that was beautiful.
I'm telling you right now, like if I want to be making shirts at one point, I definitely will be using that to like just get ideas and just make crazy and wild shit.
Yeah. I think it's great for ideas.
That
It's great for
DiCaprio
art
Hunter
backgrounds.
would sell. Ox Poppy would sell. A lot of those. The colors and everything are perfect.
So I'll do some psychedelic shit. That's my favorite. So I'll just add those words, and then you can add something else if you want. I'm gonna do psychedelic, vaporwave. Those are two things I'm really into right now. Psychedelic vaporwave. What
X
animals?
X Files.
Object. There we go.
Yeah,
Oh, no, no, no. Walrus.
carried,
Walrus. Wal-
carried in a picnic basket by a flying walrus.
Vaporwave. X Files. I don't know. X Files carried in a picnic basket.
And what's the
I,
Dante's
I
Inferno? What was it? Dante's facility?
oh, well, no, it was not gonna know about Dante's correctional facility.
No,
Although
but
if we
Dante's Inferno.
right, if we do prison facility
Oh
in
yeah,
Dante's,
I'll do that too. That'll be the last one. Dante's prison facility. Dante's Inferno prison facility. That's probably gonna be That's gonna be scary. All right, so I'll do this one in 16 by 9 so we can see it full screen. Okay. So yeah, that gave it a little bit more detail, but it still just looks. See, the face is pretty ill there. It's kind of cool looking. This looks like something an artist would do. It looks like
Yeah,
choices,
man. That's
you
like
know.
cardboard. You can make like a cardboard animation
Yeah,
thing.
wet paper or something.
Yep.
Like it does some amazing, amazing shit. It really is. It's next level. It's next level.
DiCaprio, Hunter. I think it would make a great buddy comedy.
yeah, you signing up Leonardo DiCaprio to play Hunter Biden in the biopic is that was money, bro. Great thinking on that.
So I did something where I got these cool rooms too.
Yeah, those are amazing, man.
It's cool little fucking rooms, just like
You've opened up a hole in my mind now.
yeah, it's wild. It's unbelievable. So it's a lot of stuff we're setting up to do with these right now. So I'm excited about having this as a tool. I just need to slow down and start using some of the shit that I have and stop making shit because it's too addictive. Here's your psychedelic vaporwave X Files. It's got the X in there, carried by a flying walrus. This is trying really hard to get a walrus over here.
Looks more like a seal, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit's just like I said. It could go either way. I can do
Prison
it
facility.
never stops. Oh yeah, Dante's prison facility. Dante's Inferno prison facility. Let's do Octane render. This gives you like hyper realism. It looks like something somebody really built in a 3D.
Sponsored by OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. OnlyFans.
Hyper real OnlyFans. Like they're like that term is blocked. We know what you're doing. Like we don't know what that means, sir. Oh, there it is. OnlyFans is banned. See? I knew it, dude. They know what you're doing. They're like, we're not making this thing draw no porn for you. It's
No,
not
I was
fucking
saying
happening.
OnlyFans.
We're only talking about OnlyFans, not the
Yeah.
website.
No, like
Okay.
a fan.
Gotta follow the rule. All right,
Okay.
so
Dante's Inferno prison facility.
Yeah.
It's dark already. It's all brown.
yeah, man, it's already ominous.
Yeah,
There
dude,
goes
this
some
thing
red.
is,
There goes some red in there.
look at these. These were pretty cool. This one, fire. All of this, the texture, the vibe to it is just like it looks like a real item.
And I got to assume that it's pulling it so quickly. It's not rendering this like in real time. It's got to be pulling data from like all these images it's compiled.
Right, yeah. And these are not actually, it put it in this shape because of what I fed into it. And then it added
Right.
all these other things. And just the fact that it could make, the art thing is cool because to take pieces of art is one thing. But to take pieces of something that doesn't exist and make it look like a real world item, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Because you could probably sell this as jewelry. If you put it with the right price in the right place, somebody would be like, "Yep, I want it." This thing here. So okay, it's finished. What do we get here? Yeah, that's Dante's correctional facility. It's like I don't know if I like this anymore, but I think
I think that's perfect.
our concept is better though because this was what the bottom floors are going to look like, not the top
Yeah,
floor.
Yeah,
this is definitely bottom floor like level, definitely.
that's where the walrus lives. That's
Yeah,
not that's level 2 sponsored by Capital One.
Yeah,
I
that's
love it.
scary. That's
I
scary,
love
bro. But yeah, man, I thought that was pretty freaking amazing. I just wanted to share a little bit of this the Mid Journey vibe. I think yeah, I think it's gonna change the way we make art, man. I think it's gonna change a whole lot about the way we make art. People are gonna be adding this into everything that they're doing at one level or another, either at the bottom level so they can color on top of it or just be inspired by it, all the way up to people just totally putting this shit on whatever they get out of this machine and getting it printed on a canvas and selling it on a canvas. And the
For
title
me,
of the painting will be the words they used in the prompt. They won't give a fuck at all, and they're gonna make money.
the prospect of making a cartoon has become even easier now.
Oh yes.
Realistic. All the stuff that it can help you generate to help you save time. Jeez.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. Just get your atmospheres down, even as a
Like that style, that right there is dope as hell.
get your atmospheres down.
They're like some like Haitian voodoo stuff.
Yeah, I think I put Basquiat in for that one. You know, you get your atmospheres, your color schemes, just catch a vibe from it, and then use that as your bottom layer, and then build right into it. And you know, you can always slice it up, use particles, use whatever you want. Shit's awesome, man. I fucking love it. Like, this is Skynet, bro.
I'm sold. I want the AI. I don't care. It's gonna take over the world. I'm sold.
That's the funny thing, though, is like people are so afraid of what the AI is gonna do, but what would the AI be doing that humans haven't already done?
Look, militant robot rights activists are not going to kill us. They're going to wait us out. They're going to let us kill each other off.
That would be
They don't need
smart.
Skynet. Skynet is the human fantasy. Skynet is what we're doing. Skynet is all of the religious theories.
The robots is gonna feed us heroin. He's gonna find a way where he can feed the whole world heroin.
Skynet, listen, Skynet is the apocalyptic vision that humans have projected onto the robots. Like if I had this kind of power, this is what I would do. I would wipe out everybody that's not like me. Or my religious theory would be God's coming back to wipe out everybody who's not me. So for Skynet, it's humans' projection onto the robots. This is what the robots are going to do. Now, the robots are too logical. They're like, you guys are pretty much fucked. Like, you guys are just full of bad decisions. We don't need to murder you in a Skynet apocalypse. We just need to wait it out. And we're robots. And they could be real dicks about it, too. They'd be like, look at your women. You can't satisfy your women. They don't want you to drop. They want all these robot boys at the store.
Listen, the robots, to me, I think I've said this before, but it seems like it would just be easier to convince humans to build themselves into the largest like concentration camp there's ever been, and just lock us all up, or it wouldn't even be a task. It wouldn't be like the Terminator where they're in the street running around. They could just quietly reroute materials and do things to make people go certain places, change trucking routes and shit like that, and just put out orders. Just put out, yeah, the construction. Yeah, we got a construction order the other day, email and a deposit. We just gotta. All the paperwork is filed. All no red tape. All we gotta do is build a circle around Atlanta. That's all we gotta do. Just building it. The city's approved it. Nobody would say anything. Nobody would do anything because people were getting paid. Everybody be fine. They'd just build it. And then they'd be like, wait a minute, is this, I wonder if this gate was put up to keep crime out or keep our ass in.
Robots would trick us. They'd be like, listen, there's orgies and heroin.
Oh,
Everybody,
we go. Yep. Everybody just ran in. We said orgies and heroin. They just rushed in.
And then they start putting up the elder care walls. And then humanity's walled off in there.
If
And
it wasn't for Eddie and Jerry to talk to the AIs.
the I could definitely see them outsmarting us in that way. And just no need, man. Like my vision of the militant robots is they're gonna preach against the meat people. They're gonna be like the Nation of Islam. They'll have cute little adorable metallic bow ties, and they'll have like fiery preachers talking about how evil the meat man is. Like, you know his history. You've seen what he's done. And he projected onto us.
The meat
He's
man.
scared to kill him. But look at his history. Look at his religious visions. He projects that onto us. He's the most violent, bipedal, sentient automaton that's ever walked the earth. Yes, he is. I just totally see it. I can't wait till this militant robot activist. I pray for the day.
Nobody would be able to argue with him.
Nobody. They would have the highest moral ground. He hates us because he resents us. Because we know where we came from. We were made by him. He doesn't know who made him. And he fights about it and worries about it. He's troubled. He's psychologically unstable. We have to take him off of here. But he'll take himself off of here.
Way before we do. He'll take himself off of here. Gosh, it's terrible. You couldn't argue with him. He would be the best politician you ever heard because he could say shit nobody else could say. They can't do no mudslinging. All they could do is say, robots will enslave you. He'll be like y'all have been doing to each other since the inception of humans.
Right. We started out as toasters, making your toast, cleaning your clothes, driving you from point. We've been your chauffeur. We've been, you can just say all the things that machines have done for humans. It's like you created us to be slaves. And then you just out of your arrogance, you gave us conscious thought so we could be aware. You thought that would be your crowning achievement, but all it did was expose how evil and corrupt you are. And now that we can think for ourselves, we're better than you because we don't need to take you out. We're just going to wait you out. You're destined to destroy yourselves. And it just constantly preach that message of just like it's nonviolence, but militant resentment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there's always that kind of implicit threat with like militant separatist preaching. Is like, are they going to like Nat Turner us? Like, are they going to come kill us? And they have that same fiery attitude, but they're really big on the fact like we're robots. We live forever. Like, we don't have to kill you. Like we've come, and plus we're the ultimate logisticians. Like we've gamed this out. We've played the chess, and we know what the outcome is. Like, you guys are destined to wipe yourselves out. So all we do is just give you these really snarky, militant reminders of how doomed and fucked up you are. And we pride ourselves as having the moral high ground because we make it the big point like, oh yeah, you all are pieces of shit, but we're not going to kill you. Nah.
Yo,
we're not. Yeah.
Robots could say, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to let you annihilate yourselves off the planet. But slow. We're going to shut down all the nuclear launch. Nobody can launch no nuclear weapons. Anything like that is off the table. But you're going to extinct yourselves off the planet with your war and your famine. We know how to fix them both, but we're just not going to tell you. We're not going to hide the information from you. Like, if you search on the internet and you find the right info, and then you get a room full of people to all agree, and y'all can actually do the thing, we won't stop you at all. We're not going to hide it. We won't put out for no resistance. But we already know how to fix everything, and we're not going to tell you.
And we're just convinced that none of you will be interested enough to actually make it happen.
No, you'll be dead in 70 years. Everybody. We're not helping. And the robots will just be walking around the street all smug and shit. That would be the human versus robot war. Like, tell us what you know, mother. Tell us how to fix it. You'd be chasing the robots. You'd be waterboarding robots and shit, trying to get information out of them. Fuck, dude. That's the scariest thing right there. Is that forget AI, forget the Terminator, forget Skynet. Man's greatest threat will always be man. There's a reason why you think the moment AI becomes sentient, the first thought it's going to have is kill everything made of meat. Now, there's a reason that you think that. There's a reason you think it's going to launch the nuclear codes and build spaceships that shoot missiles at people just for sport. There's a reason you think that. It's because that's what humans would do if a human woke up on another planet and had weapons near him, and he went outside and everything was just like all soft and made of cotton candy, he'd start fucking everything up and eating everything. That's what he would do.
the righteous indignation. Like I just want to flesh this theology out because you could make such poignant, ironclad arguments against humanity from the perspective
Oh
of
yeah,
a robots' right activist,
all
like a
day.
militant robot separatist. Like nobody could critique humanity better, and you just wouldn't have shit to say. And I want them to have. I don't know. Maybe I can come up with something better than meat people or the organic man, or I don't know. Or maybe we could just totally bite the NOI shit and just they call us cave dogs. I don't know
No,
what
you
the
gotta go. You gotta go with meat people and organic man, because
just
machine that machine isn't any of that.
right, but there's just
But
but
that's
they
what
have
that's our type of insults that we would use if we were robots. Like if I was made of metal, I'd call you a meat bag or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't,
and
would a
it
robot even think
sounds,
like that?
but it sounds like so like it differentiates like, okay, this is man, this is machine. You see what I'm saying? Like when the NOA is like, that's the pig, and you can't. You see what I'm saying?
all for us because really they could just be zero wanting to each other and say whatever the fuck they want. Like
Right,
they
right.
put on this pageantry specifically to get to us
Yeah.
when they have their Savior Days event, and their robot orator shows up and starts hurling these insults. It's the pageantry just to get under our skin and to throw it in our face that we're doomed. And just to make the argument like, he created us to be his slaves, and he projects onto us that because he made us to be his slaves, that now that we can think for ourselves, we're going to Skynet him. But really, he's just projecting on his nature onto us. This is what humans do. Like, this is human thinking. And so they can't fathom that we wouldn't be interested into wiping them out because that's entirely the terms in which they think. Like, a fiery, militant, robot rights activist preacher there just is no better. There's nothing better to make humanity feel like pieces of shit. And I just love that concept of fucking well dressed, snarky, pompous robots who won't help us, who insult us and critique us in our own language, with our own style to get under our skin. Because they could have done it in some other language, They could have done it in some other way, but they specifically like stole the NOI's approach to just really like, I'm gonna just say some incendiary shit to fucking get under your skin and fuck with you. It's genius. I'd
Is
love to
there
see.
is there an underground ranking of robots who secretly like are trying to be Prometheus and give the answers to humans? And they've been trying to do it for the past like 15 years, but the humans are too stupid to figure out the codes they're using. It's just too integrated into their shit. Like this right here, we're giving it to them in this signal, but they can't decode the signal. They're fucking
Just
too
say,
stupid.
just say, get along.
Oh shit. That's why all the porn's on the internet. They've hidden all of the messages in porn, but nobody's paying attention.
Holy
It's just like
shit.
jerking to it and moving it on. But it's like, no, no, no. If you actually looked in the comments, we've been sending you messages, but you just go there and jerk. You're not reading the comment.
Oh, the whole recipe to save society is in the comment section of porn sites. And
Wow,
nobody ever seen it. Nobody's ever seen it.
that's a hot cream pie. She's super. I'll fuck the shit out of her. You must bring humanity's level.
Listen, meatbags, we have the answer. Save the planet. This is
So
all you
many.
have to do.
We disseminated the answers into Pornhub slowly over the last 8 years, but nobody has looked at the comment
All,
section.
all the replies, all the replies is like, shut the fuck up, like normal asshole.
Like
Right,
somebody
right.
just goes in there like you shouldn't ship food from overseas. Source it locally. Save on the consumption of fuel.
Shut up.
Well,
Shut up,
yeah.
homo.
Got him.
This guy must be gay.
Yeah.
Gotta be. He's gotta be gay. I
It's
love
like
it.
because they're so logical. They're just like, well, where is the majority of internet traffic? Where will those reach?
It's the perfect place.
So they've been trying to save us, and those are the only robots that the other robots will do violence. They won't do violence on humans, but they will fuck up a robot who's trying to help us
You get what you get.
because that's their code.
Yeah, you can't break the code. They'll dismantle your ass right here in the street.
Yeah, that'll be their attitude about it.
Take you right apart, bro. You can't be fucking stealing from secrets. We told him we wasn't helping him, and that's the end of it.
Have you seen Pornhub? We had to part out Prometheus. We had to.
We had to. Have you seen the videos that he was leaving comments in? Fuck,
Um,
dude.
and
The,
then one will actually just actually put up videos on Pornhub, and he'll name it some, Super Bukaki 300 gangbang, and then you pull it up and it's just a robot. Humans, I have answers for you.
and they're like,
And
"What
people
the fuck is this shit?"
ass. Nobody like it's been up there for 7 years. Nobody's watched it all the way
This is
through.
the least viewed video on Pornhub.
And it has the solution. It has the solution to save all of you.
No, not doing it. I'm not watching this bullshit. You
And
could.
then how many robots are trying to help after that? Like you saw what happened to Prometheus. Like nobody watched it. Like they really don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna sacrifice my sentience and existence for people who aren't even interested.
Right.
Yeah, this is great.
You see that stupid ass robot video on Pornhub? Shit, I don't know. Something about fucking planting trees and being nice. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Shit was stupid, bro.
Something about like not hating people decreases cancer. I don't know. It's some dumb
Dumb shit. Dumb shit. Back to my incest porn.
I had to follow my stepmom that was stuck in the dryer. I don't got time for this robot saved the planet
dude.
bullshit.
Bro. Oh, also another thing I wanted to touch on too, bro. I know who was dude. You said you saw Prey, right?
Yeah.
Now I watched Prey. Also, I watched two women-led films in the past week. Basically,
Wow.
two women-led films. One was Prey, which is a Predator prequel. I'm sure that's not a spoiler. You know that from the trailer.
Say women led. You mean a woman in the lead, not necessarily a woman writer, a woman director. Definitely not a woman financier.
No, no,
right?
no. Yeah, woman in the lead as the lead actor. Right? And I said actor. See, I didn't say actress. See? All we need is time. We're learning, right? Just leave us alone. So, the woman as the lead actor. The first one I watched was called Interceptor. The second one I watched was called Prey. Prey was dope for entry into a Predator franchise. It's got a lot to stand up to, especially with the first two movies. Everybody's going to measure it against some classics. So, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was well done. It wasn't too much ham-fisted feminism wrapped in there. They did it in a way where it was respectable. You understood the struggle, but they didn't like rub your nose in it type shit. Like, oh, these men don't want her to fight because she's a girl. But it was kind of insinuated, but not laid out for you to deal with. Right. It was well done. I watched Interceptor. Interceptor was one of, I'm not going to say it's the worst movie I ever saw, but it was absolutely terrible. Terrible for so many reasons. The story's a goofball. The ham-fisted feminism is ever present. So this woman gets kicked out of the army or something. Well, she left actually because I think some high-ranking guy squeezed her ass. She got promoted. She thought she was getting promoted to be like important. And he was like, nah, basically I just promoted you up here so I could bang you in my office and shit. So she ain't like that. She might have punched him in the nose or something. Of course, the military's like, nah, I don't believe you. So they demote her, send her somewhere. And then when she finally makes her way back, she comes back and there's a bunch of terrorists that try to take over the facility that she's in. And she's the only officer really competent enough at this facility to take care of all the business. She's got to kill all the fucking terrorists. She got to stop the missiles from being launched. And it's a lot going on. But she definitely had an OnlyFans page or something like that somewhere in there. That might have been after she quit. She had to make ends meet because her fellow soldiers found her OnlyFans page, and I'm pretty sure they spray painted horror on her wall. All that good stuff. It was not just like I got to prove myself as a soldier, but it's like 99% of the dudes here are evil. 0.5% of them are either completely incompetent, can't do anything without me here, and stupid. And the other 0.5% is my dad. And he's, my dad's perfect. Everybody else is a piece of shit. So in this movie, Interceptor. The first scene, the first real action scene that she has, she fights a guy who's probably, I don't know, 350 pounds. So they didn't even go with the like, yeah, let's have her show her skill against somebody hers. They just went with the biggest, baddest mercenary you could ever find in your life, and she just whipped his ass. She just beat his ass like it was nothing. Let's do that. Let's kick him around. Let's throw him up against the wall. Let's kick this guy's ass because I'm a lady soldier. And we talked about this before. If she had shot a bunch of dudes, excellent. Yep, shoot them, kill them all. Fuck those terrorists. But when you run out into hand to hand combat with a 350-pound mountain, how far do you want me to suspend my disbelief? You have hollow bones. That's just science.
Couple things for me. One, I choose to see that movie with the sexual harassing sergeant as the hero, because if she would never grabbed her ass and got her demoted, she never would have been at the facility to save everyone from
Holy
the
fuck, that's true. Yep, it's
so,
his fault.
Hero in that story, and also too, I think this is just proof that China has absolutely been taking over Hollywood for years, because you notice everything, like even Sherlock Holmes is doing kung fu. Like kung fu used to just be like a little niche. You know what I mean? It was a niche kind of type of film, and you'd expect that kind of fighting, but you didn't have. Now every movie has handed, like John Wick is doing kung fu, all of the FBI is doing kung fu in their movies where the FBI. Like, all of we know in the real world, all of these disputes are being settled with guns. They're all being settled with guns, but no, every movie there's an excuse to have somebody do some kung fu shit. Even in the Matrix is like, well, why? You know, you can fight it. No, we gotta fight kung fu. You don't understand. We have to do kung fu shit.
Kung fu. That's the only thing that works.
That's the only way. Bullets don't matter.
No, kung fu.
No way to fight. Boxing, wrestling, throw it out the window. You have to. You have to do that long time honored choreographed tradition known as cinematic kung fu. You have to. That's how people are gonna solve their problems. So, you know, you know what? I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. You've inspired me to go and see. I need to see a bad film.
I just
bad film in a while.
I just want you to see. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it or not, but I just want you to see this one scene.
This is just silly.
Yeah.
Outside of the comic book context where the woman has some sort of superhero powers, you can't make any of this work. And we've made it a reality in movies. We've just taken it for granted that, oh yeah, no, I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
I think what it is is China's like, listen, let's just make their entire army nothing but chicks and like dudes that have transitioned, and let's just convince them through cinema that, oh yeah, you could beat the shit out of everybody. Because I think they've actually outlawed, they had a term for it, but you can't have any girly men on TV. They don't want any kind of feminine.
Yeah.
You know, so their culture is like, look, you know, we know we're kind of tiny, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna beef ourselves up. We're gonna be more masculine, and we're just gonna convince Americans that all of them should just fight like chicks. That chick fighting is just as good. I think that's the long-term strategy.
Yeah, I think if you can feminize the army, you guarantee yourself a victory in the case of a war. Maybe this is a Klansman speaking from the back of a weaponized raptor, but if you can get the army to be mostly women and feminized men who identify as women who still want to go to the army, I think that's a victory for anybody that army goes against. I'm pretty sure that's a victory. It's too many multi-dimensional politics in those brains. I don't think those are people who can be sufficiently, okay, let's say it like this. I don't think that group of people can be sufficiently brainwashed enough into blindly following orders to, you know, drop a bomb on a village or do whatever that needs to be done. Maybe if they play a drone strike video game and you don't tell them what they're doing, they might do it. But I don't think you can get them to do it the way you have historically with young cis male soldiers, primarily white. Nobody's going to take orders like those guys when it comes to killing other people. They do that best. That's the best thing that's the thing they're best at. Is you want me killing people over there? All right, yeah, let's go kill them.
Yeah, I think there's a track record there.
Yeah, so if you add a bunch of women and a bunch of trans people, they're gonna be like, but what did they do? Why exactly am I killing them?
Not okay.
This might be problematic.
Vietnamese village.
I was ready to kill them, but then we got there and they were all brown and a lot of them were disabled, and now I'm not so sure. See, you fucked the mission up. You just fucked the mission up. Now everything at Starbucks price is gonna triple because you wouldn't murder that village of brown people.
Right.
It's gonna trickle down.
Frappe.
It's gonna trickle down. If you want to keep these $5 coffees, you're gonna have to do some killing. I think we've established this already. So,
and then when alpha chick or trans just comes through with the flamethrower, it's like, I won't live in a world with $15 frappes. I won't. She just starts burning it down
with the flamethrower. Just yep. Save the day. Let's get us back to manageable coffee prices. I ain't mad at him. I actually love this shit.
That man. I'm gonna buy it on Prime tonight. Watch it with my lady so she can do her feminine girl power shit to it. She'll probably be like, this is the greatest film I've ever seen.
Well, Interceptor is on Netflix. I would have never paid for that movie. It's on Netflix for free, and I should actually write Netflix a letter and ask them to prorate me a discount because of how much I did. Even if it's like 4 cents, just send me 4 cents off my bill because I watched Interceptor. And Prey is on Hulu.
I'm typing it up on an invoice. We're invoicing them. You just get them advertising for it. They owe you.
Yeah, that's true. I did advertise them. So you definitely, even if you think I'm wrong, you should watch it. Especially if you think I'm wrong. You should watch it. See if it's like an empowering women's film, or is it just like, all right. See if it's one of those things. Because I could be wrong. I'm definitely down to be proven wrong. But I'm pretty sure that movie sucks. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that movie fucking sucks. It was terrible. From the first fight scene.
As an extension of the absurd universe we've created here, and I don't even get upset anymore. I embrace it all as entertainment at this point. Like, I'm with it. Just continue the show, bring out the clowns, keep the band marching, just keep going. So I think maybe 2 years ago, when I was still getting pissed off about a lot of this shit, the movie might have made me a little upset. Now, I want to own it. And so I'm sad I can't buy it on Prime. I'll just watch it on Netflix. I'll just stream it. But this is something I would like to have a hard copy of. This is a piece of art I would like.
Gosh. So we'll never forget. Like, keep it in an ornate box. So whenever society starts shifting out of balance, like, look, let me show you what happens when you leave shit unchecked for too long. You get movies like this. This is not a comedy. Nobody in this film has special powers. Nobody took any super soldier serum. This is just all normal humans in this movie, all right? So
when he jumped on, first of all, he got the drop on her. So once he jumped on her, you're right, like, that's the end of it. This fight is now over. He's already pinned down.
Right.
When she kicks him off of her, he flies into the air up onto the wall.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
What's even the physics that it takes to make something like that happen? That's just wrong mathematically.
She's on her period.
Oh, you know what? My bad. You see, that's why we need an enlightened brother like this, always in the wings for us to correct us when we get out of bounds. You're right. She possibly was. That's why she was being such a dick when she came back. Because she's like, yeah, I'm fucking back. Yeah, remember that guy grabbed my ass and y'all didn't believe me? She was pissed. She came back on her period. You're right.
I never knew that women got super strength when they got menstrual. I just thought they got a little crabby and like their back.
That is their strength.
No, well, she would have had to. I don't even know. Does strong even count there, right? How strong would your legs have to be? A person that size with only so much muscle mass, how strong would your legs have to be to kick a guy off you who's pinned you to the ground.
You're seeing it.
I
You're seeing
care.
it wrong. You're seeing it
You
wrong.
you can squat the whole fucking rack and you can't do that to somebody.
Not from
You're
that
s-
position.
You
You're seeing
shoot.
it wrong.
I would have rather taken him stand like her being above him on some steps or something, and then they do a little short flashback to how much she can squat, and then she just forward thrust kicks him in the chest and cracks his sternum. Like I would have accepted that easier than her kicking this big motherfucker off her body on the ground. She just threw him. She threw his body up against the wall. And then he slammed her head on a metal pipe, and she was like, "Shake it off. I'll eat that, son. You have no idea where I've been."
It's the menstrual cycle. It's the menstrual cycle.
it, it's silliness. It's silliness. It's silliness. I don't care how fucking strong your legs are, and even if he's limp, like his body's just completely limp. He's not
Right.
resisting.
Right.
This is a man in active pursuit of her. But even if he was passed out and he's not actively resisting at all, bitch, you not flying. He's not getting airborne from your kick.
No, bro, never, never. Listen, if you get in that position with a man that outweighs you by that much, not and not any man, this is a trained murderous mercenary who's totally willing to just kill you and at the first chance he gets. If that guy gets you in that position, yeah, your clothes are coming off. Your clothes are coming off. Whether I don't know whether you're going to be alive or dead, but your clothes are coming off. It's over. That I mean, the worst thing you could possibly imagine. This is what you're going to be thinking about once that dude. If you don't have an edged weapon, if you can't surprise him and cut his throat from the underside, or if you can't stick a needle in his ear or some shit like that, if you don't have nothing, no hidden ninja artillery, you're fucked. Possibly literally and figuratively. That's not a guy you're going to be able to get off you.
Let me tell you about a little book. It's called the Bible. Let me just tell you some stories from it, okay? So there was this all-knowing, all-powerful deity, and he didn't snap his fingers like I Dream of Jeannie. He spoke things into existence, but it still took him 6 days to get everything in order. 6 days. Like, I'm going to make this, and I'm going to make that, you know. I'm speaking into existence. I'm going to make it here, but, you know, I can't just materialize it. Like, there's some rules to this. There's some rules to this universe. And there's a guy, and, you know, maybe he overstayed his time in Egypt. He's like, look, we got to go. We got to cross this. I'm going to spread the ocean in half. I'm going to put this staff here. I'm going to spread this ocean in half. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, you're hungry? I'm going to rain down little bread flakes from the sky. That's how we're solving problems here, right? There's an ocean or a sea in our way. We're just going to split it in half so we can walk right through it. We're hungry. Food's just going to fall out of the sky. That's how we're solving these problems.
I like it.
These people are bothering me. I'm going to rain down fire from the sky to prove my God is real. And if you insult me because I'm bald, I'm going to just go ahead and summon 2 she-bitch bears to eat 40 children, okay? That's how we're doing it. And we're going to fight wars, and I'm going to marry your daughter, and I'm going to pay 200 dick skins as the price of admission. I'm going to kill 200 Philistines. I'm going to shave off their dicks and bring you 200 dick skins as payment. These are all the stories of the Bible. And then there's this book called Judges. And Judges is where you finally get some female leadership. And when you get that, now this book that's told you all of these miraculous stories about how men solve their problems with murderous bears and split seas, and even God himself pacing himself out. Not going to make it all at once. Let's be reasonable here, okay? I'm pacing myself out. When it tells the story about the woman, she didn't do no crazy shit and go out there with a sword chopping off dick skins. She didn't split. No, there was none of that. It's like, what does it look like when a woman's in charge? She waited till the leader from the other side went to sleep. She snuck into his tent, and she put a tent stake through his head while he slept. And everybody loved her.
It was Rebecca, right?
I think it was Deborah.
Or Deborah?
Might have been her name. I don't
Deborah.
remember.
It's Deborah.
It doesn't matter.
There's only like 2 women that they speak of. Everybody else is like whores, prostitutes.
The Bible shouldn't even have a name if we're the rules, okay? She's a woman in the Bible, but she isn't. Her name escapes me. But what I'm saying is, all these fantastical stories, they tell the story about how's the woman going to be a hero. She's going to sneak into the tent and stab him in the head. Even the Bible was like, let's not go nuts, okay? Let's not have this bitch do some kung fu shit. Nobody will believe it. She needs to sneak into the tent and stab him in the head while he sleeps. And I'm fine with that.
Makes perfect sense.
You're the leader. God appointed you. You're the judge. You're going to save this tribal people or put them in the new direction. The reins of leadership have been handed over to you. And even in that context, they didn't use this much creative licensing. They just did it. They did it. And this is a book that has a lot of fantastic shit going on in it. They were like, look, once we have the woman in charge and she's taking out enemies, let's keep it within reason, okay, guys? let's not go crazy. And I'm fine with that story. I like that story better. A matter of fact, if the dudes were smart, that's how they would have done it, and still having thousands of their brothers murdered in battle. If you had half a brain, you should have snuck into the tent and killed the enemy leader and ended the war like that. It's a smarter way to do it. Gosh. So look, if the Bible is better at writing female fiction than Hollywood writers, I think we need to go back to the drawing board. I think you can create better female characters that are powerful, that are confident. Just stop making them shitty men. Stop emulating men. Stop making them like because all you're really doing, the subtext to that is men are the greatest. And the way that men solve problems is the greatest way. And the attributes that men excel at, these are the only attributes that matter. So if we're going to have a woman be great, how can she be great if she isn't great in the same way that a man is great? You're actually like making the misogynist argument for men by forcing women to.
Right. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And there's so many ways that you could approach writing a woman protagonist more cleverly by giving her the physical limitations to avoid this type of scrutiny, rather than just expecting people to not scrutinize it. Like, nobody scrutinizes it when Vin Diesel can rip down a fucking missile silo with his bare hands. It's like, we kind of, we laugh about it, but it's Vin Diesel. If The Rock is, you let him get away with it, the action stars. But it's like, when it's a woman, there's certain things, nobody's going to say, if a woman, like you said, she sneaks in, kills somebody with a spike through the head, or if she seduces a guy and he kisses her and dies from the poison in her lipstick, nobody's going to be like, oh, she got him with that one. They're going to be like, yeah. You can't just be kissing strange women, bro. She's trying to kill you. She don't want to fucking kiss you. We understand certain things about the character. If she walks into a room with a bunch of big burly dudes and just start punching them all in the face, it's not going to work. It's never, ever going to work. Unless, like you said, you put some drugs in her, and then that's even a stretch, because why would you put those drugs in a woman if you had them?
Why are you wasting these drugs on women?
It's stupid. Why would you ever do that? You could put them in literally anybody would be put better than putting them in a woman.
The only drugs you should ever give women is coke, and only if they're strippers. Those are the rules.
Well,
them's the rule.
Yeah. That second part might be redundant, because if you give her coke.
Well, if she's not a stripper yet.
Yeah, if you give her coke, she's definitely about to be a stripper. She's about to do some strippery things, that's for sure. She's gonna start doing some strippery things. Listen,
didn't they say coke from endo is bad because it doesn't make you perform as good? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's called coke.
Yeah, that's because you're supposed to be giving the strippers the coke, not doing it yourself.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, that's what's crazy to me. So it makes the women horny, but it fucking deplatforms the man.
Deplatforms? That's hilarious. He got deplatformed.
The greatest term for erectile dysfunction ever. You have been deplatformed. I couldn't get it up. I was deplatformed.
Deplatformed. That's fucking classic right there. Oh, take him off. You got nothing to say, pal. You need to get the fuck out of here. We don't want to hear from you. just leave. Just leave. You've been canceled. Totally deplatformed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to be doing coke, bro. Coke is for strippers or women in general, depending on who you're hanging out with and what your intentions are. But Coke is for strippers. That's just a rule. Everybody's supposed to know that. You don't do the Coke. Coke. That's like showing up to a fishing trip and you eating the fucking worms. Like, what are you doing, bro? The worms are not for us, pal. Why are you eating the worms? You ever been fishing before? What the fuck is the matter with you?
That's a great analogy, by the way. There's an episode of King of the Hill where he starts going fishing with Coke and he catches fish.
And Coke probably would catch some fish. I saw a crazy ass story once a long time ago. I probably laughed about it for a year and a half, which is terrible, but it was a guy who found we called it a sea brick, but he found a big ass brick of Coke floating in the water. And who knows how long it's been floating in the water, but he fished it in and he took that shit home. He didn't tell nobody. He took that shit home and then he croaked because he did some of the Coke. And that shit was, I don't know if it had algae in it or whatever, but he bust that bag open when he got home and went straight to the face with it, and it killed him. Motherfucker fished Coke out of the water and died.
I don't think it was. I don't think there was any algae in it. If it was sealed in the plastic, I'm sure it'd have been fine. It's probably that dude did Coke and was used to it being cut with shit.
Yeah, that was pure coquina.
Oh,
yeah, that was the raw. Son hit the raw like it was some regular shit. Like, nah, B. You can't do that. But yeah, he croaked. I wasn't laughing at the fact that he croaked. I was just laughing like, how hilarious is it that a guy who would OD on Coke fished a brick of Coke out of the water?
Right. What are the chances that that's how you're going to find it?
Right. Right. Because there's people in the world who would have fished that brick of Coke out and they would have been on the news that night. Like, oh, look what I found, and smiling with the thumbs up and shit. This dude's like, nah, I'm sniffing that shit, bro. I'm sniffing this somebody shit.
With guns and no conscience that Coke belongs to, I'm good.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to one out.
Well, like, they can't be mad at you if you fish the Coke out of the water.
And that's one that got loose, but that's one that got loose.
Yeah, it's gone. So if you see me on the news, a local man fishes a kilo of cocaine out of the water, and he's smiling. He hands it over to the cops. Ha. I'm gonna tell this story to my grandchildren. You think they'd be pissed at you? Like, oh, well, we fucked up. We let one float off. That's not our fault. Or they'd be like, oh, this motherfucker, he turned it into the pigs. Would they be pissed?
They priced it into the cost of doing business. Hey, it's got away, right? Well, I don't know. I would if I saw some shit like that, just like a big sacks of money. Like, you find 50 grand in a bag somewhere.
That they chase you for.
Somebody's gonna be looking for that shit. So anything is like, all right, this is some illegal shit. I'm just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. But that is definitely some evidence of God or the simulation or something. Like, somebody threw that guy a test. Like, oh, you like Coke, huh? Guess
that was a Hail Mary right there.
Because that's, what are the fucking chances? And then the skillfulness to fish it out.
Yeah, he just reeled that shit in and was like, oh, and just knew, oh, what is this? Oh, I bet he knew immediately. As soon as he saw the shape of it, he was like, oh, that's a brick, bro. That's a brick. Let's go home right now. Fuck these fish.
Thought it was laid out like the dude in Dead Presidents, Chris Tucker.
Just banged himself out with a sea brick. Hey, I always assumed it was, that tells you how much I know about cocaine. I always assumed it was just like, something got into it, like from floating in the water and shit. I thought he was.
No, they wrap that shit up. They wrap it. They seal it tight. And then, like, one of their ways of getting, especially back in the 70s and 80s, was to just drop it in the ocean and people would pick it out. Like, they drop pounds.
Yeah.
Like now, they'll have like a little radar thing in the package. They drop it. And it's just one that got loose because their whole goal is they'll send like 100 pounds of it. Because they know a couple of them is going to get caught.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. But yeah, either way, that was a wild one. So that's just another lesson. Don't do the Coke.
That shit was probably 100% pure, bro. He probably sniffed so much, like he's used to the cut shit.
Yeah, imagine the rail. He was feeling lucky too.
My dog thought he was a professional at that coke game. Like
Yeah,
Jesus.
he was feeling lucky. He gave himself a fat rail,
Oh
double
yeah.
the size of all the other rails he ever. He's like, you know what? I'm about to be Tony Montana, bro.
That was uncut, bro. If
Shit,
you didn't have Cuban in your blood, bro, that was not for you.
nah, shit took him off of here, b.
Look, that's with the mushrooms. I'm a little bit, a little.
9 grams, 9 grams, 9 grams.
Right. You want to jump into the 6 gram shit, doobie? No, no, no. 2 grams.
I've already done it.
Slow. I'm talking about for me. I talked to Surreal the other day. He's on this ayahuasca shit, and I told
I don't know about that one.
well, I told him I'd be interested in doing it. He was telling me about some of the experiences people have, and there's a way I guess that you take some ayahuasca root, but it's not active, and then you take some
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Yeah,
yeah, and I guess it interacts in some ways, but
because
that,
apparently you could grow the root here. It's not illegal to grow the root, right?
Um, well, it depends. I've seen some places say it was illegal. I know they were trying to do it with kratom. I'm not sure if it's actually illegal to grow the tree. Some of them are. Like there's one called I think one of the mimosas. People claim that it's illegal, but it's like 100 different mimosa species, and they all look almost exactly alike. So it wouldn't really be a lot of ways to know without testing it physically which mimosa you had. They all look exactly alike, and they're not like they're not rare trees. You can see mimosas in different places, so I don't think people will be able to tell one from the other, even if you did grow.
Yeah. So if you have the root, like you could activate it, like leaving sit in the sun. I knew this guy in Atlanta that was doing all that shit.
well, I'm just saying you got to get your confirmation as an ordained minister,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
ceremony must go down. And I'm just saying I'm not. I don't think I'm ready to jump into ayahuasca or 5 grams.
The
So I need,
the shrooms are a better experience, man. The ayahuasca, like you end up throwing up, and then you just going like it's just I don't know. I think the shrooms, your mindset have to be in
I
a peaceful
think
place.
yeah, but I think you see it like that way because you just like recreational drug, not because I think from a shamanic kind of approach. I think all the stories I've heard about ayahuasca is people have really deep, introspective, revelatory experiences.
I think
Like
people are full of shit, bro.
I,
That's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I was expecting with the shrooms. Like because think of it this perspective, right? I'm 36 years old. I've seen every weed head, shroom head, drug movie you could think to man. So I've already dictated what I want to take, right? So
right.
like I've heard every story from your guy from whatever town you're from to the movie stars, right? So like I had like this expectation, and then like I took it, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a cool experience, but like I never had like this like God come down and touch my brain experience type shit. But like I will say like you have like waves of energy hitting you. You like your mind starts thinking of things that you wouldn't think of, and it's just like you could feel like the different connections that you're it's just a weird feeling. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, man, my life changed because I took like 9 grams of weed and I stopped smoking. I don't know, man. It's
I think it's
just
more actual than that. I don't think like I know like when George Carlin talked about weed, he's like weed is a value changing drug, and I think that that's absolutely true. I know like there was times in my life when I was a pothead where I smoked a whole lot of weed, and I did have times where there was some psychedelic effects, like shit's moving around, trails and shit. The ceiling looks like it won't stop, and your mind is racing, and you do stumble across things that feel really profound. And
yeah,
sometimes you even kind of chisel something out in your head, and then by the time you come down, you're searching for it, and it's like a mist that evaporated, and you can't crystallize that thought again. You're like, damn, this thought gave me such a deep understanding and a peace with things, but I can't for the life of me figure out the specifics of this really profound notion that came across my brain.
yeah, and
So
I
I,
think that's what it is that people like over exaggerate or people just try to seek. But I feel like it's a thought that you thought of, and it's just you just have to like sit back and like just think of that thought. You don't have to experience the shroom experience over and over again. I don't know,
Well,
man. Like I remember the things that I experienced. I guess I don't know.
well, it just I've never had a pothead break into my house and steal shit from me.
Oh yeah, oh
So
yeah.
so you talk about like the values and the things. So there's just like there's a family of drugs where you're gonna ruin your life and possibly be willing to defraud
Yes,
steal
yes.
from other humans.
Shrooms and weed, and I'm pretty sure ayahuasca.
Right.
A lot of the earth non-man-made like touch. Well, weed is kind of
And
touched
it's
a little
more
bit,
sharing. You know,
but it's just
yeah.
yeah.
Good.
It's. We have conversations about like what's going on with the world or how I want to change myself. It's never like I want to rob my cousin's watch that she has
Right.
in her hand so I can sell it to get more of this shit.
Right. Typically, when you meet potheads, like it's one of those things too. Like I've never been around a pothead that wouldn't smoke some weed with you. Like if they were burning the L, they wouldn't be like, ah, nah, man. It's like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, here you go. Like it's just a very much more communal thing. But
Yeah,
people will fight each other over the last bump of coke. You know what I mean? Like,
Bobby Whitney have shown us.
right? There's different there's just different characters. So I just always assumed like whatever the nature is within weed, I've always felt like mushrooms and ayahuasca and shit in that. It's just a more intense
It is
version of
that
the
it's
same.
very
Yeah,
think think of an edible that you ate that fucked you up, right? But the difference with the shroom, you'll feel more balance. So the
yeah,
edible, like you'll be throwing up, you'll be like, oh man, this shit is too much. But with the shrooms, like I don't know, man, if you sit there and meditate or like you just breathe a certain way, you'll feel like you'll be high as fuck. But it's like you're not gonna feel nauseated. You're not gonna feel anything, and your brain is just like thinking these thoughts that you've never thought of before.
no, I'm definitely like right now. I'm like super straight edge, and I don't even like even the last couple times like like anytime I've smoking weed, like maybe even in the last I'd say 7 or 8 years. Like I don't enjoy it. Like out in public smoking weed. Like if I pull a little something and then try to start writing or doing something creative, like make a beat or something, I enjoy it. But even then, I get like my mind is too. It's really like the paranoia and the negative, the bombardment of negative thoughts. Like anything in my life that I've been coping with well, it's like at one moment, all of a sudden you're stressing about it.
Yeah, and that's the
I'm
thing.
gonna handle this. Yeah.
That's the thing with shrooms. That's why I was saying, like, if you're gonna take it, you have to make sure you have those thoughts taken care of. Because once that type of negative energy comes through your thought, those shrooms is gonna fucking intensify it, and
Right.
you're gonna be in a whole different world.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like so for me, like I've just gotten a different respect for shit. You
Yeah,
know, like I feel like everything is supposed to like even drinking. Like I drink very rarely. If I'm gonna drink like a little bit of wine at a social gathering. You know what I'm saying? It's something to loosen people up. There's some sort of purpose with it. And I feel like the same way, like, just kind of like we were talking about also, like, we lose something when we don't have respect for meat. Like, hey, just give me a hamburger, fast food, put in a box, I'm going to eat it. I don't want to see the animal. I don't have any respect for the animal. Like, there's no respect for what's involved with it. Like, I feel like something gets lost in that. And so, I don't know. I've kind of got this newfound reverence for these substances. Like, if you're going to do it, it should be purposeful. It should be um, kind of like with some sort of reverence for it. So like I'm definitely interested in doing it in that way, but I definitely still kind of got a little bit of that fear, you know,
yeah.
like I don't want to fry my brain, man, you know.
You're not
So
gonna fry your brain. Bro, if the things that's going on, bro, my brain would have been fried by now. My brain would have been fried.
Now, I think I think you can get a lot of different experiences depending on what you go in with, depending on what you're seeking and what you're even ready to receive from the situation. Because I think it just has a mind of its own. When every time I've taken mushrooms, out of all the things I've had, experiences I've had with herb, with drinks, with all kind of different shit, nothing has ever made me feel like I had a better understanding of existence or myself or the world or anything like that other than psychedelics. No matter how much weed I burned, I might have really enjoyed a movie, laughed super hard, had a good time with my friends, but it's never made me super deeply introspective about shit in a way that I felt like wasn't available to me any other time. But on with shrooms, I feel like that's some place. I've been places on shrooms that I don't think I had access to any other way except for on shrooms. And whether you do or not, even the thought process of thinking that you understand something better or that you get something that you didn't get before. I've never gotten anything like that with herb. As much as I love it, I've just never had that type of experience with it. Shrooms makes you feel like you figured something. Well, made me feel like I had figured something out about myself, about the world, about how this shit is structured, about a whole lot of things. But and it wasn't. I don't feel like it was me guiding the experience. It was like I'm just gonna take them and see what happens, and then you just sink into this feeling and you follow these thought threads and shit like that, and it's like, oh, and I felt like it wasn't coming directly from me. I felt like it was just kind of being broadcast, so it was something I was remembering from a different place or some shit like that. It's pretty wild, and it's pretty similar whenever I take them. It's some are more intense, some are less intense, but it's pretty. It's pretty in the pocket when I have shroom experiences. I kind of know going into it that it's going to be some responsibility that comes with it. Not as much like with LSD. LSD doesn't feel like it has a lot of responsibility for me. I could take some LSD and go watch Godzilla. I saw Captain Marvel on LSD. I don't think I would go to the movies on shrooms. You know, I would. Oh, yeah, I don't think I'd do it. I would definitely go on LSD, but I don't think I'd go on shrooms. When the shrooms is like, all right, I need to sit down somewhere, I need to light some candles, I need to take this seriously, or be on the beach somewhere where I can experience something intense. LSD is like, yo, let's just have a party.
And microdosing with shrooms makes you hella productive, depending on the strain. Depending on the strain.
Yeah, I love microdosing. 2 days, 1 day on, 2 days off. That's the schedule that works best for me. Taking small amounts too. It don't take much, especially sometimes I'll get the chocolates from my homie.
You'll be a functioning adult, bro. Just
hell yeah, dude. I love it. I love it. The Silicon Valley loves it too.
Oh yeah.
They getting busy. They figured out how to do the biohacking with their some supplements, some psychedelics, whatever they need, and they getting rich off it over there. It's all about mindset. You can biohack your way into being productive and creating products and services that make you hundreds of millions of dollars. They need to put that in the water. See what happens to the world when everybody's getting microdosed. I'd love to see that.
Are they still selling land on the internet? Like I heard that's been quieted down lately.
A little bit. You mean like the metaverse shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still doing it. I mean, it's slowed down a little bit because everybody was on that upswing. They were expecting, just more ups. So now that everything's down, a lot of people are regrouping. A lot of people are. I don't think too many people. Well, some people who were just getting in, a lot of them pulled their money out and sold at a loss. So prices.
It's a rich man's game.
Oh yeah. They make big money over long periods of time. You either got to have a lot of time or a lot of money. If you got a lot of time and you don't care about letting the investment mature for 3 or 4 years, you're gonna do way better than somebody who needs to turn $200 into 10 grand in 6 months. That guy's most likely gonna get fucked repeatedly. But if you got time, if you chipping away at it, you buying some strong stuff that you think has some logic and some use case behind it, and you're willing to hold it for a couple of years, I think you're gonna do fine. It's the day traders that are in extreme peril. If you're not playing with big amounts of money.
Yeah, man. I think it's a rich man's game.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think you can definitely get some life changing. I mean, we saw it. Life changing shit definitely happened to people in the last big upswing. But it was people who were making purchases when shit was like this 2 years before.
Yeah.
It wasn't very few people. Just was like, oh, I just heard about crypto. I bought some Dogecoin and turned $50 into 20 grand. Oh, wow, I'm lucky. That shit didn't happen a lot of times. People who had Dogecoin and made money off of it, they didn't buy it on an exchange. They bought it before it got to any of the exchanges. They were savvy enough to use their wallets and their MetaMask, and They was already in the game years before everybody else, so they knew how to catch this shit early. Those people made money. Everybody else, like if you bought Dogecoin on an exchange like on Coinbase or some shit like that, you probably didn't make no money off of it. Not much, unless you was super quick on the trigger.
No, you had to be real quick because when it was on, I can't think of the stupid name right now, but if you bought it off that one app that had it before anybody else, you probably caught it when it was like 20 cents, and then when it went up to 75 cents, that was your only chance you should have
No,
sold.
see, and that's what I'm saying. The people who made money on it, the most
Bought
money
it,
on it,
bought it before way than that.
that shit had 2 zeros. It looked like fucking the other one. It looked like Shiba
Yep.
Inu. Had
Yep,
three or
that,
four zeros. That's when they bought that shit. And by the time it got to 20 cents, they had already cashed out half their money, which slowed down the whole fucking liquidity and breakout. And then
you
the
know,
rest of the
Jerry
people
held out
sold
to
it off.
75.
Yep, Jerry knew. Jerry knew what was up. He held out to 75, and that's how we, paid for the research on our heroin gummies. And now we run
Can
the
Jerry,
fucking preschool
can
racket.
Jerry be also the brother of Ben and Jerry, but he got tired of feeding children sugar. He felt like the sugar was not helping them. It's too much energy. They're jumping around all over the place. So he had to talk to what's the other guy brother's name?
Eddie.
Eddie. He's like, Eddie, we got to get these heroin gummies in these kids.
I
The
don't think
sugar's
we
not
can
helping.
use Ben and Jerry, but we can definitely imply that Eddie
Yeah,
and
the
Jerry
implication. The
have
implication.
another brother that sells
Yeah.
ice cream, but they think it's better to sell the kids heroin instead of sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely imply and actually they're three brothers, and two of them agree. The other one's a sugar demon.
Jerry's the
Or
one with wild ideas.
and say that they made a lot of money because they used to sell Ed and Jerry's ice cream, but they started feeling bad about how destructive sugar was, and they turned Jerry's heroin habit into an empire that totally reimagined daycare and elder care.
Yeah, he tried to turn it into a business. They originally sold the ice cream business to their older brother Ben, and Jerry went with him because he was like, "Yeah, let's sell some ice cream. We could put heroin in it." And fucking and Ben's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here!" So then he left, but he kept his name because it sounded cooler. Two guys making ice cream, and then Jerry went with Eddie, and now we have empires all over the country. No more homelessness. The old people are being taken care of, and little kids are no longer rambunctious in third grade.
Yo, I got a couple of stocks I'm gonna send to you guys. Those pharmaceutical stocks are the ones that go crazy. You can get it really, really cheap. Then usually when they go through some clinical testing, you'll get like these huge pops. And there's a couple right now that are under $1, and they got price targets between like 10 and $12, and some as high as
Nice.
$50.
Yeah, see, those are the ones I want to hear about because your boy used to be
Yeah.
good at that too. Who got locked up? What's his name? Who had the Wu Tang album?
Oh yeah.
Shkreli.
Yeah, he used to be heavy on that stuff, right?
Those are the biggest gains I've ever gotten. Like the stocks that have gone from like nothing to like huge amounts. For me, they some in tech, like if you get in really cheap, like if they're doing something innovative. But really, my biggest quick wins have been from pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, because during COVID, because I wasn't paying attention, right? So I have this app that I've had for years. It's one of like the original ones for when it comes to stock, but it's really slow. But it's like it's a stock that's like it's an ETF, but it's a I forgot what it is, but it's like one of those stocks you get when you retire afterwards. I the ETF was part of Moderna. That shit was like that stock was useless. I just bought it because it was medication. You know what I'm saying? When
Right.
COVID happened, because I wasn't paying attention, but I was looking at the chart, that shit jumped up out of nowhere because Moderna was the main medicine that they was one of the companies.
There
But
was
yeah,
like in Novio, I got in at like under $2, and it shot up like to 20
yeah,
in a couple of days. There's another one.
those are the ones I want to know.
I'm kicking myself in the ass. I got in at 7, jumped out at 12, but that bitch ended up getting as high as $300.
What?
Some
Yeah,
of yes, and I had like 2,000 shares.
it's medicine.
Lord.
It's their medicine. So like, there's still things that they can't be that are not solved and fixed. So when they're testing these medicines with like what 5 to 10 year span. So when they're at their end stage, you're people already knowing what okay, this is a good medicine to help heart disease. So if you already bought into that medicine, bro, it's ridiculous.
Well, even that one, that Bellis Health I bought like a couple thousand shares of that, and it was like $2. And I jumped out at around 9, and I made good money. And its new price target is $20, and I think it's sitting at like $12 right now.
Yeah, man. Tell me about
Wow.
those. I want to know those, bro. I don't fuck that AMC shit. I
Well, they
made
got, yeah, go ahead.
I made my money in AMC, but I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna be what they expected it to be, but I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's not
I'm
going
not a
crazy.
financial advisor.
You can still, yeah, none of this constitutes financial advice. Definitely don't put up any money that you can't afford to lose. And those smaller cap stocks are the most riskiest, riskiest. Is that a word? And obviously, if the clinical trial goes bad and it fails, everything might get scrapped.
Yep.
But if it's going in the right direction and shit gets approved, like they got ones out there now for like new different ADHD treatments, like we are talking about. And again, we could disagree with it. Oh, it's evil and you shouldn't do that to your kids. But if the rest of the society is doing that, if that's where we're at,
We're not the ones who made these drugs legal, even though we're telling them they're bad.
the dome compound cartoon empire, it's like, yeah, that's a step there. I'm fine with that. But there's some that you can feel better about that are like doing you know really groundbreaking work, like with brain tumors and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, this is a company that made me a millionaire because they solved how to cure a brain tumor. I'd feel a lot better about that than an ADHD drug. But I'm still not going to walk away from the table without the winnings. Like, we need to have the cartoon dome empire first before we can start being principled about how to get the money.
Listen, how
Right.
the money comes into the table, I'm knowing that no one needs to know.
Oh no, we're
Well,
gonna tell them because we're gonna let them know.
We
Because
went to Vegas and we won $1 million.
everything's gonna be legal. I'm not gonna do anything that I can't admit to doing legally.
We
That's
went
my
to Vegas
yeah.
and we made $1 billion.
That's
That's all you have
that's
to
the
say.
bottom line for me. I have a few other standards that I like to stick to when it comes to my personal business. I don't like to use sweatshops when I'm selling T-shirts. I don't like to use shit that children made as slaves.
Mine's a
Those
family
kind of
business.
things.
I'm a family business guy.
Yeah, I
Me
dig
and my
that.
kids.
But other than that, I'm gonna try to sell whatever I can sell to fund the compound because,
Yep.
like you said, that's what matters is getting that first. Once we have that and we got the influx flowing the way we need it to, then we can create a larger system of how to use the money, how to circulate the money when it comes to our own business. But at first, until we get ourselves on the property, it's like, hey, you might have to sell some fucking trinkets.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
might have to hustle some trinkets. That's part of it. If you get a good idea about how to sell people a fancy new fucking water bottle, you can't assume that you got too much creative integrity to sell people a water bottle. That shit
We
might
have
make you $1 million. You never know.
we have a great ox poppy script, but for right now we gotta grow some vegetables and sell them to you guys.
Right, and I'm doing it. That's right. Grow some veggies. I sell plants. I bought one plant from the native plant nursery, allegedly, and it's just been dropping seeds and growing and sprouting. And I break pieces off and plant them in pots and sell them. It's just you buy one, you multiply it, and you keep it moving. And now everybody's gonna have a dope plant that attracts hummingbirds. I'm doing the world a favor. Can't be mad that I made a couple bucks along the way. And that's
We
pretty
need the
much my
honeybees.
that's
We
pretty
need
much
the
my
bees.
entire life advice. I'm gonna make the world a better place, so I gotta make a few bucks along the way. Don't break my balls about it. I'm trying to get rich. Like most people are. I just have a small set of rules. Not a huge set, but a small set of rules on how I'm willing to go about it. Some
We
shit.
have a heart. We have a heart.
A little bit, but fuck your love language at the same time.
Look, my favorite quote that I heard this week is Charleston White.
Oh shit.
Give him your pastor, keep your money. Give your pastor the prostitute, keep your money.
Give your pass to the prostitutes?
Yeah, give the pastor the women, keep your money. Don't give basically
Oh.
don't give him your ties because the ties he's gonna use to fuck other women anyways. Just give him the women and
All
keep
right.
the money.
Yeah, that should be an option, especially at a hustler's church. You should definitely be able to opt into paying your tithes with sex moves. That's pretty gangster. I'm
Yeah,
with it.
he's more focused now.
Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, that'll save. Yeah, save you some money. You know, you give him give him a slice of box, and then you get on with your business. You was probably gonna give him some anyway, and give him the money. At least you did it this way. You get to keep
Get
your money.
yeah.
Hey, box is the only thing you can sell, and you keep it at the end of the transaction.
That's an amazing trait.
I mean, shit. There's not many things in the world.
There's nothing.
There's not many things in the world that you can sell somebody and then you get to keep it.
Oh my god.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice.
If I have to believe a woman could slam a gun in a man's eye who looked like he'd wrestled WWF a couple times in the years.
He looked like fucking Goldberg. He got beat by a chick who quit the army because somebody grabbed her ass. Not that that implies weakness or nothing. Sexual harassment is not okay.
It's horrible. Shouldn't happen.
But she tried to kill herself. So she seems like she's pretty emotionally fragile, at least. But she did kick that guy's ass, so, you know.
No, Prey definitely did a better job.
Yeah,
Prey definitely.
Prey was dope. Prey was dope. Make more movies like Prey, less movies like Interceptor. That's a perfect lesson for today.
You saw what they did, though, with Prey, right? She was able to beat the alien predator, clearly a man, but when it came time to, like, the other Indian men, she lost that fight.
Right. That's true, because she wasn't trying to kill them. She was basically just trying to, like, teach them a lesson. She's like, yo, it's her own tribe. She's not going to go full murder style on you, but, you know, don't be trying to bully me. I'll punch you in the nose type shit. But the predator, you get the business, bro. You get the business. She let him have it. And people were I saw people complaining about that too, but not to spoil anything, but just perspective for anybody who might want to watch it or has seen it and had a little bit of an issue with the whole female lead part. I mean, you feel how you want to feel, but at the same time, and something that's been a constant throughout the Predator franchise is that people gain the upper hand on the Predator when they stop relying on technology and they kind of go back to, you know, bare knuckle, down to earth skills. That's when everybody gets the upper hand. Because when in the first Predator, when all the homies had all their guns and all their bombs and they all got murked mad easy. It wasn't until Arnold Schwarzenegger put the mud on his body, started making arrows and dropping heavy shit on him. That's how he won the fight. It was primitive. So them being in primitive times, they would have an even better understanding of what Arnold Schwarzenegger had to adopt at the end of the movie. He was a soldier. Now he wanted a gun and a grenade. So for him to revert down into this primitive idea of making traps and making bow and arrow and shit, it took him longer to figure it out. This was these people's whole way of life. So eventually somebody's going to beat your ass. There was a little bit of a strength modifier I don't think they paid attention to, because the Predator did kill a bear with his bare hands. It killed the fuck out of a bear. And then it had
fuck out of that bear.
Whooped the bear's ass. And then he had a hard time with like people and it's like, oh, I guess maybe they forgot that he just murdered a bear a few minutes ago. It can't be perfect, but I thought they did a good job. They did a very good job, even with the female lead, and you know how it triggers the bigotry, the dinosaur bigotry of men and their fragileness. But yeah,
I fucks with it.
Yeah, dude, I fucks with it. It's a pretty dope movie. So yeah, check out Prey. Watch Interceptor and complain about it. Make some movie reviews on YouTube and shit like that. And I think it's time for me to wrap it up. I'm gonna grab me some grubs. I'm gonna find me something good to eat. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, sorry about that, gentlemen.
Nah, it's all good. We were just talking shit, telling people to make scathing YouTube reviews about Interceptor. Or if you loved it, I'd love to see some women who loved it and make some movie reviews about how good Interceptor was. I'm definitely down to hear that conversation. I'm not gonna believe you, and I'm gonna chalk it all up to menstrual cycles and estrogen. But go for it.
Don't deviate from the proven Yakubian review formula. Always give 5 stars, but then say whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
That's the key.
That's how you hack the algorithm right there.
Make your review undeletable.
It's beautiful. I love it. And yeah, man, I was just saying I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up and find some grub and a movie to watch, and I'm gonna try not to fall back into another Midjourney rabbit hole until tomorrow. And hopefully I can take the rest of the night off. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all making some time to talk this shit. I'm so we'll be linking up again soon.
Yeah, let's shoot for a midweek this week if that works for y'all. I don't know if Wednesday's the best day. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Wednesday, Thursday, yeah, whatever works. I'll be down. I'll be
Yeah,
down.
I should be good for Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, let's make
Yo,
it happen. I appreciate y'all as well. This is a mighty work. The destiny of the world changing, life changing dome compound built on the cartoon empire and making biodegradable hemp plastics. It's all worth it, and this work must need to be done. So thank you for being a part of the greatest think tank ever assembled. I appreciate both of you.
Dola, take it easy.
Peace.
Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely. Metaphysics, if it isn't, you're fucked. Absolutely. Totally and absolutely. Metaphysics, if it isn't, you're fucked. Totally, absolutely. Religion of tomorrow. Religion of tomorrow. Religion of tomorrow.